in Kansas City. We've got a lot coming your way in the 5 o'clock hour. Shahan Jayaraja. Talking college football. 24 teams. Are we going to get it or not? What's the holdup? What's the problem?
What is the deal?
Who's going to quarterback Texas Tech?
Ooh.
What does he think about the Jayhawks, the Cats, the Tigers? 5.5 win total on Kansas. 8.5 on the Cats. They're the fourth favorite in the Big 12.
Nice.
Mizzou, I gotta check their odds. I'll have to look that up.
I wonder how much it's impacted by the up-in-the-air status of Ahmad Hardy.
Right.
So I saw somebody who does these projections, and he was going. I think he was going through the running back rooms or teams, and he based the Tigers on the fact of Hardy playing 6 games. So I think there is at least some speculation. Or
he just said, let's go half.
Let's just go half. Yeah, that's probably more what it was. But we're kind of in that point where, okay, we know he's going to be okay. You know, that all indications are. At what point do you transfer over to how does this impact the team? And we're probably getting close to that.
I think we're there. I think we're there
okay
because he's not in critical condition.
Yeah, he's up and around. He's good. So.
I feel obligated to say, hey, listen, his health is first and foremost.
Yeah.
Playing football is a minor sidebar, but yeah, I think we're at that point. We'll talk about that, Ahmad Hardy, and what that does to the Missouri Tigers with Shahan Jayaraj in the 5. Alex Schiffer, our NBA insider from Front Office Sports. The Shift Man returns in the 4 o'clock hour.
Foodie.
We'll talk NBA playoffs, NBA offseason, and draft lottery. Where does Darren Peterson go?
I'm sure at some point we'll find out what he's doing for lunch.
Or dinner.
Since
lunch is in the rearview mirror.
That should be dinner.
The godfather of Kansas City sports, Frank Bowl, will be with us in the 3 o'clock hour. And shortly, allegedly, we're being told, our people tell us Frank Caliendo will descend upon the studio.
Several people will enter the studio in the form of one man.
Yeah,
Frank
pretty
Caliendo.
much. Yes. That's pretty much what's coming, right?
Yep. Can't wait.
FrankOnStage.com if you want to get tickets. I think he's playing 2 days.
Friday and Saturday.
Here, Friday and Saturday. So we look forward to talking to Frank Caliendo, all-around swell guy, funny man, impression expert.
Yes.
I'm double-checking. I'm trying to find. There he is. FrankOnStage.com. Wanted to make sure. He's in Omaha tomorrow. No, Thursday.
Yeah.
So if you are someone who lives in between the two with our big booming signal here at 810, you can see him in Omaha on the 14th. That's Thursday, Kansas City on Friday and Saturday. FrankOnStage.com. Get your tickets today.
I do an impression of Frank, but how do you do an impression of an impressionist? I mean, he's the one guy it's impossible to do an impression of because I wonder if at some point maybe we'll ask him. At one point, does he ever occasionally forget what his real voice sounds like? You know, sometimes you get caught up going, wait a minute, I'm not even me right now. I'm somebody else.
Yeah. We start with a little Chiefs football here in the program as the Kansas City Chiefs. It has now been leaked. As we said, the trickle of games continues.
Yeah, which really isn't even a leak anymore, is it? It's like sometimes I think some things are leaks, but sometimes I think it's like they already know. They're just telling us a little bit.
Well, they know.
Yeah,
I mean, I know people who already have seen the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm saying like the Chiefs one. I thought, did someone find out and
the
leaked
Chiefs
it?
No. The NFL leaks it. They do this to be top of mind every day. They're brilliant.
It's fantastic.
Let me take that back. I don't think they're brilliant. I think they've mastered the obvious.
Yeah.
Hey, we got done with our draft. We got a couple of weeks of everybody reacting to the draft. We're going to do another draft reaction tomorrow. We're still on our Red Golden Bull podcast reacting to the draft. So that carries us for a little while. But then we got to give them something else, so we give them the schedule. But let's milk 4 days out of it. We'll lead up to Thursday night. Friday night's a bad night because everybody goes out and does things. So Thursday night, we'll do a schedule show, but we'll drip to keep us top of mind and keep you talking about us each and every day. We don't have any games.
Nope.
So we'll drip a game out. Ooh, what does it mean? What does it mean that the Chiefs and Broncos will play on Monday night? We'll be here. We'll be there. I don't know.
That's a new. Are
angle. You home? Or am I home? I don't know.
I don't know. That's a new angle, though. This is the first time I can remember them putting out a game, but not telling anybody where it's going to be. Do you remember?
I don't know. They do such
have they done that before?
Screwy things. Like I have 3 people that I could text right now that I know have seen the schedule.
Yeah.
And they're all like, this is a big deal. They don't want it out. So I try not to sweat them much.
Right.
But eventually it all starts to come out. And then somebody gets a hold of, takes a photograph of someone who's written it down, and you get a handwritten, here's the Chargers schedule. Yeah. And then from there you piece together, okay, so week 6 the Chiefs are at the Chargers, and week 11 the Chargers are at the Chiefs. So we got those 2. You end up being able to piece it together. And long before that show ever airs, we'll have all the games.
Yeah,
would be my expectation.
Yeah, in fact, one of my frank opinions today is I can tell you now because you can't cheat on it. Nobody can cheat on it. Not that you would. How many?
I am not. I am a man of integrity.
This is true.
I do not lie.
This is true.
I do not cheat. I don't need to cheat to kick Frank's ass.
Because you're awesome.
Ever.
Yes.
Except for last week, where it was the most abysmal, pathetic performance of my life. I've yet to recover. My wife has suggested perhaps therapy. That had nothing to do with Frank, but she has suggested therapy.
That's true.
But I have not recovered from the ass kicking I took at the hands of Frank Bull.
See, not today. You can redemption.
I hope
just a week away. But one of the questions is how many games will we know? Have already know
by when?
By 2:00 on Thursday. By the time we take the air, how many games will we already know? I can't remember what I put the number at.
How many will? So I'm curious, and I'm sure you didn't put it out that way, but what's the spirit of the question? I assume they mean how many the fans will take it as, our listeners will take it as, how many do we as fans know?
Yeah.
Not necessarily
I said,
have we gotten a glimpse at it and we can't say anything?
I said, how many Chiefs games will be reported when we take
good.
the air at 2 p.m.
I
on
like
Thursday?
that. So I like that. That's good.
6 or fewer, 7 or more.
Oh, wow. I was thinking 5 was a sweet spot, so interesting. Okay. They'll open with the Broncos. Don't know if it's home or road. On Monday Night Football. A little dangerous with the Patrick Mahomes timeline, right? Or are they looking at it as it's either the triumphant return for Patrick Mahomes, which is what I think is probably the way they're looking at it, the way the Chiefs are talking. It seems like the rehab is going well, so they're looking at it as the triumphant unveiling of Patrick Mahomes 2.0. But I would think that maybe you want it at home. You want it at Kansas City?
Yeah.
Because
so.
if he's not going to play, the recent history is that this team blows without him.
Yeah.
So do you really want them to go out there? Now I think Justin Fields is if game plan 4 is a significantly better option at backup quarterback for just a couple of games. Maybe over 17 seasons, Gardner Minshew should be better, but I would object to that.
And more of a TV draw, maybe.
I think Justin Fields, you do have a better chance to go on the road and win with Justin Fields than you had last year with Gardner Minshew looked, which was amazing, which is one of the reasons why I'm really curious about the offense, because Gardner Minshew looked like trash, and he had looked pretty good. We didn't see much of him, but when we did, he was brutal. Yeah. And for the Colts, he looked good. He had moments for the Raiders. He looked like nothing for the Chiefs. And so, I would think playing at home might be good for helping the chances of getting a quality game on television. Like, I never understood, and now that it's all about the almighty dollar, and maybe there's something in the Big 12 charter or in their agreement, why Kansas ever played a home game on Big Monday. Now, you want to play home against Arizona or Houston now that they have proven to be not only their equal but their superior since they've arrived in this league, fine. Big Monday at home against Arizona, that was a great game last year. A great story, especially with Darren Peterson not playing and Kansas getting it done. But it always boggles my mind when the heavy goes, plays a home game. Like, well, here they come. This mediocre Giants team is a 13.5-point favorite as they travel to Philadelphia. Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Why not put at Dallas, where at least they've got the home field advantage to try to make this work, or at the Giants to try to make this work? I've never understood that. So to me, who's the heavy here? Is it the Chiefs or is it the Broncos?
And that's the other part of it is if you're a Denver fan and you're coming off a division championship, a runaway to some extent division championship, at least as far as the Chiefs are concerned. You've played in the AFC Championship game, and you're opening the next season, and you're having to go to KC, and that will certainly fire up the NFL is looking out for the Chiefs talk, as silly as it has been. It's going to be fodder for that, or grist for that mill. So if I was a Broncos fan, I'd be kind of cheesed if I was having to go to KC for Monday Night Football. I'll say we're
why? What the hell have they earned?
We should. Well, coming off the season where they
does a division title mean you should open at home?
Over a team that finished 6-11, maybe. I mean, it was coming off of last year. I don't know. You wouldn't feel that way if you were a Bronco fan. Why are we going to Arrowhead?
I don't like the only team that I think's got anything coming their way is the champion opens on Thursday night at home.
Okay.
Is there anything else? Because if you start down that road, well, okay, so then 1 and 2 in each division have to be at home, and 3 and 4 have to be on the road. That would also, again, be counterproductive to putting the best television game out there. Like, you give the champion their chance to unveil the banner and do all that on TV, our last memory of last year, and then after that, no. Everybody else, let's go. It's a new year. We're not kissing rings for fifth place in the AFC.
Would be probably cheese off, but if it's the better show at Arrowhead, then it's the better show. So,
I can't help you with that.
I don't need any help.
That's an awful idea.
I didn't say it was an idea.
It's terrible. Terrible.
Deal with what I said.
Yeah, but I think this game should be in Kansas City. I think the Broncos are the heavy. I think Mahomes is the underdog story. I think Fields is a potential starter in this game, and so it should be at Arrowhead. Now, I don't know how much the suits get involved. How much, I don't think the people that I think the people that determine the NFL schedule for the television networks are colossal boobs. Mm-hmm. I don't think they have any concept of being able to evaluate what a team was last year and what it now will be this year, because you're not scheduling last year. You're scheduling this year.
Yes.
So in the spirit of that,
how badly they do in that regard.
In the spirit of that, I ask you, what do you think? What do you think? Who do you think is the better team out of those two? Who should be the heavy in this moment?
To maybe to some degree, it will depend on who is a quarterback. If it's Mahomes, I think the Chiefs are the heavy, and that's the story. The conquering hero returns to a raucous crowd. If it's not Patrick Mahomes, I think the story could still be the Chiefs because they're back and somebody else. I think Justin Fields is an interesting. I think he's more of a draw to someone to watch him go against the Broncos at home than Gardner Minshew or somebody who had less of a pedigree. If it's not Mahomes, I don't think it's a slam dunk who the heavy is. Just because it's not Mahomes.
I don't understand why Mahomes makes the Chiefs the leader in the pack. He was 6-8.
But he's Patrick Mahomes,
who was 6-8.
Yes. But I think the story. I'm not sure what the heavy means. Like,
who's the better team?
Right.
Who has bigger expectations this year, the Broncos or Chiefs?
I think they're probably about the same.
Kyle?
They both see themselves as AFC Championship contenders, at the least.
I think a lot of people probably think. I mean, when you see the power rankings, the Chiefs aren't ahead of Denver. I don't know what that means, but I don't think it's a slam dunk that the Chiefs are going to go into this year with more expectations than Denver.
The odds makers have the Chiefs at plus 170 to win the division. Chargers plus 185. Broncos plus 210. Raiders plus 1,600. That's about as wide open as it's been, but the Chiefs are a mild favorite
My favorite.
to win the division. So I get that. I get that for the betting public because I think but they had to be freaking eliminated before people quit saying,
Right.
before they dropped out of like the number 1 or 2 spot to win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're going to get it going. I've seen this movie before. I mean, so like I understand that will be the mindset of people who don't dive into every single move of the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. But I would question whether or not I think this would be different if Bo Nix didn't have more surgery.
Factor.
I think there's a question on their quarterback now
For sure.
and his durability, especially for winning the division. I don't know about week 1 if he's good to go week 1, but I mean, he clearly has a chronic ankle injury.
Yeah.
That's a problem that kept him out of a playoff game.
Yeah, I think if
It was
you were to...
bad enough that he couldn't limp through it like Mahomes did.
Yeah.
He had to go under the knife.
Done. And I think I do think that if you ask who's going to start more games this year, I'm not convinced it's Patrick Mahomes. If they're both there week 1, who has a better chance of finishing the season? I think it's probably Mahomes. Because I do think that's an issue with Knicks, the fact that it took as long as it was. At the very least, they're no more than a push. So I agree with you. I think that's if they think, well, this is our guy and he's just going to play 17 every year moving forward. Slow down.
Yeah. Who else do we think is going to be Monday night material on the Chiefs? Monday night, Sunday night.
San Francisco.
I think the Niners is going to be a primetime game. Primetime, or it'll be the standalone. It'll be the main 3:00.
Yeah.
3:25. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It'll be the 3:25.
Yeah.
Because the CBS and Fox do have right away. You can't just put every single one on Sunday and Monday night. So yeah, I think San Francisco's a 3:25. I think the Rams are a 3:25 or Sunday, Monday night. I think the Seahawks are 3:25 or Sunday, Monday night.
Kenneth Walker against going back to Seattle as the Super Bowl MVP. That has Sunday Night Football all over it. I'll be stunned if that's not on Sunday Night Football.
I think the Bills are 3:25 Sunday or Monday.
Yep.
Or Thursday. The late Thanksgiving game. Black Friday game.
What we're noticing is most of the games we're reading off are road games. I mean, it's just the way it works. But I mean, most of the big San Francisco's at home, but the rest of the ones we've kind of knocked around, other than the divisional ones, are roadies. At the Rams, at the Seahawks, at the Bills.
Yeah, well, that's how the schedule stacks up.
I know,
We've mentioned
sucks. That's a rough deal. So
noon. Let's do this. Noon at Dolphins. Home for Raiders.
Atlanta.
Home for Cardinals. Home for Jets. At Atlanta, they might get crafty and think, since it's at Atlanta,
Yeah.
they have some. They just don't know, what is Michael Penix
No idea.
besides hurt.
Yeah.
We know he's going to be hurt at some point. And I'm not trying to be flippant, but kid's been hurt his entire college and pro career. Maybe they would try to get crafty in there. All 4 Broncos and Charger games are primetime candidates. 3:25s. I don't see a noon on any of those 4.
No.
3:25. Bengals at Cincy.
If the Bengals get off to they're a nice start and things are rolling well, that's a game you might see flexed.
If I were the NFL, I would put Chiefs at Cincy real early. Like, not week 1. Let's give Mahomes a chance to get him 2 or 3, but let's not let
3.
Burrow get hurt yet. I think our sweet spot for the Bengals is week 4 to 6.
Yeah. Let's not give him time for a soft tissue injury.
We need that in there. New England. That's definitely Sunday, Monday, I think.
Yeah, that ain't noon.
Do you need to get that one in early or late based upon Mike Vrabel's? Is that one more likely to be coaching later than early? Sabbatical, early, weathered the storm and we've moved on?
There are some storylines this season. No question.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can pretty much figure it out. At least the times, and I think the Colts game. It's here. That was a competitive game last year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're going to hope the quarterback's back as well. Daniel Dimes. But, yeah, I think we know what the big marquee games are going to be. How many will they get on Sunday and Monday? I'll say 5. And we go Sunday, Monday, Thanksgiving Thursday, Black Friday, Christmas Day. They're not going to be, where's the Friday, Australia? Who's in that? They could be in Spain, right? But because they're targeting that. But I don't think they're, whoever, it's the Rams. So I guess theoretically, could they be in Australia?
Could.
Isn't it the Rams that have the Australia game?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Thunderdome says it's Rams and Niners.
Oh, has that already been
Okay.
announced?
Under.
Okay. Rams. Oh, that's right. They did. That was a divisional game. They did. Well, that was good thinking.
Good thinking.
Putting a divisional game. You know? Worked out real well for the Chiefs last year.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think, so all right, so that one's off the board. So how many do you think? Thanksgiving? 3. Let's see, they don't have the Cowboys or Lions, so they won't be that.
Yeah.
So they could be the Thanksgiving night.
I think they could be
the Black
Thanksgiving
Friday.
Eve,
Yeah, so
the night before.
they're doing one on Wednesday?
Yep.
Shut up. Is that right?
Story I read last week.
Can someone confirm that?
Yeah, because there was a. Let me see.
Those two teams better get a bye beforehand. That was the worst.
Yeah.
Playing Saturday and then turning around on a Wednesday was awful.
Somewhere I saw they were knocking around the teams that might be
Oh, that would be terrible.
interested in.
Christmas is on a Friday, so there's the Christmas Day game. I'll bet they're down a little bit. What did they have last year? Like 7 or 8? I'll bet they're like 5. 5 this year. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll be 6. Maybe old habits die hard. Let's take a break. Buddy Frank Caliendo is going to join us here in the program. What was that look?
I was just thinking, happy that we're going to see Frank here in a little bit.
All right, let's take a
I'm
break.
happy.
You're in the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Don't forget Frank Caliendo in town Friday and Saturday. FrankOnStage.com to get tickets. All right, welcome back here in the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. We welcome in a great friend of the program. We are fortunate to call him a friend, Frank Caliendo, comic extraordinaire, comedic genius.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was.
Is the
Thanks for
term-
reading off the script.
That's what I have right there.
Yeah,
It's
put it
like
down. Put it
comedic
down.
genius.
Can't believe you could read my handwriting.
Yeah.
Although you wrote genus for some reason.
Genus, species,
Yeah,
kingdom, phylum.
There you go. There you go.
Spelled it with a
we had
J.
a teacher kick pussycat out for going stinko. That's what Mr. Dekarsky said. That was his. Kingdom,
out.
phylum, kick pussy
I see.
cat.
It's what do they call that?
Oh, I don't know what C is anymore. Yeah,
I just
it's
would
a
like to
mnemonic device of
celebrate
some
how
sort.
you managed to get that word on here with a straight face and no
Come
on,
one
man.
objecting.
Because
Yeah,
our
man.
ears jumped up really quickly.
No one
and went,
objecting.
oh, okay.
I mean, you did
Yeah,
it.
no, it's all clear here.
But
This
it
was
is-
ninth grade science class.
It's
We're good.
impressive how you put the
got some
long
s-
pause between
Yeah.
the one word and cat.
Yeah,
It made
yeah.
it really stand out.
Well,
so
you know.
I can
the
imagine.
guy, the guy driving around went, what did he just say?
Well, I
Yeah.
tell you what, man, is that your snap count? Is that what that is right there? Did you just say kick pussycat out for going stinko, man?
It does kind of sound like a Gruden play.
That's what I tell you what, it's a good one, man. You don't know how to defend that. He's going man, partial zone. We're gonna go kick pussycat out for going stinko, man. That teacher was Mr. Dekarsky, and he lived down the street from me, and he used to fill in his asphalt cracks with like a little I don't know what you'd call it, like almost like a squeeze bottle of tar. I don't know how that happened, because wouldn't that have to be hot?
Well, the cracks are there. Are you?
No, they would crack because it was going down a
Okay,
hill. and it
so
was
a
like-
crack that was a problem,
Yeah,
not like
right.
where they give it room to
right?
move.
Not,
and,
yeah, correct.
Okay.
So he was
okay.
fixing that, but he was a.
What was his name? Blutarski?
No, Dekarsky.
Oh, Dekarsky.
Just
Okay.
imagining a room full of 14-year-olds hearing that word and going,
Yeah, I mean, kind of similar to us
for
right
20
now.
minutes straight.
Yeah.
It's just like the backdrop of a Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Absolutely.
By the way, have you ever seen? We're nerds about the NFL films. Like where there's an old one, because I know you not
they
just
all
talk
old?
about sports. Yeah, they.
Almost. I guess there's a new. It's just not.
There are things that they produce.
Right,
you know, we
yeah.
don't have NFL films like when you used to get the Football Follies VHS tape.
The Sable stuff. All
Yeah.
the Steve Sable stuff.
Yeah, we don't have that anymore. But they did one about the Bengals terminology, and they had a play, and then they broke down what it was.
Okay.
And one of them was like Boomer Esiason's at the line yelling, Baker Bruce, and he's like, well, what is Bruce?
Right.
Well, Bruce is the boss.
Okay.
Boss is BOSS, back on strong safety.
Oh,
So, like,
interesting.
Bruce was a code that the running back had to pick up the safety.
Tony Danza.
Just say Angela.
Angela.
Yeah.
But that was the great thing about him, is like everybody in that show, he was like milquetoast, and then when somebody from the old neighborhood was there, he would become totally Italian. He's like, Johnny Tizzametto, Bono, Mrs. Rosini, you made the raviolis.
By the way, what is the logo on your shirt?
This is the albino squirrels of Oberlin College.
That's fantastic.
So
Really?
my brother-in-law is the head of HR there, and I did a show in Cleveland the other day, and he got me this shirt to wear because he was bringing people from work. So I had it, and it's the nicest fitting shirt that I have. So I just keep wearing it all over the place.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, but who has the albino squirrels? I mean, it's
That
an
is
interesting mascot.
We've talked about how like we love the minor league nicknames are the absolute best.
They're always more fun, right?
Always more fun. I mean, and the fact that they will embrace it. Like they're there for a while. Like now they're called Kansas City, which I don't like. It used to be University of Missouri Kansas City, UMKC, right? Local school, part of the Missouri chain of schools, does a great job. It's a great dental school and a lot of things. A real good college here, and they play basketball in the the Summit League or Horizon League?
They
or
bounce around every
I can't
3 or
remember
4
what it is.
years.
Anyway, they've yet to make the NCAA tournament. We'd love to get there, but they are the UMKC, or now they're the Kansas City Kangaroos. And they talked about, of course, the indigenous population of kangaroos here to Kansas City
Right,
made
of
an
course,
obvious
yeah,
choice
huge, everywhere.
but they talked about changing it. And everybody lost their mind. Like, no, why would you? What are you going to go to? The Wildcats?
Yeah.
We're not getting rid of the
Cougars.
Ruse.
No, that's what they are. The Ruse.
Yeah.
You've already.
The fighting Ruse.
Yeah.
You've already taken away UMKC. Don't take away the Kangaroos as
Yeah.
well.
Do they have boxing gloves on them? Like the old, that might be.
Did they have a logo that had the?
I think they may
I
have
think
had
they did at one point.
squaring off.
That's great.
Like I'm a hat snob, and I only wear hats that are fitted or flex fit. Like I don't like the snap things, and like smaller schools have a hard time getting those.
Yeah, no boxing gloves, but he's ready for.
Oh yeah, he's ready.
He's ready for battle.
Yeah, he's definitely ready. We're fighting.
While wearing a sweater.
That's a pretty cool logo too.
You always
I like
fight in a sweater.
Yeah.
Just to be clear,
Crew-neck sweater.
you got to get your sweater on, and then you show the nuts.
Outback of Kansas City.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Are you giddy about the NFL schedule being released?
I didn't even realize has it been released yet? I
No,
didn't
Thursday.
realize- Thursday.
But they're leaking games out.
Of course they are.
One game an hour.
No, is that what
No,
it is?
It kind of feels like it. They put out that the
Couple
Chiefs and
games a day.
Broncos are going to be the opening Monday Night Football, but we don't know where. So we still got to watch.
That's the Thursday night game.
This trash show they'll put on Thursday. We still have to watch because we don't know whether it's home or road. I mean, we're baffled.
Okay.
But
So wait. That's the Thursday night game, or that's going to be a
so this Thursday they're going to announce the schedule. That game will be the first Monday night game of the year.
Monday night
of the
game.
year.
Okay,
yeah.
I missed that. That's what I missed.
Yeah,
So
so-
that'll be the Monday night game. Yeah. And I told you before I was working on that Mahomes thing. I finally figured out what the bit is with Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
When he is being interviewed, he's like a little kid who was just out hanging out with another little kid. The other kid got hurt, and Patrick has to come back and tell the adults about it. So it's like So Travis and I, we were just out we were out playing, and Travis fell on a rock and he skinned his knee, and we're gonna need some Bactine, a Band-Aid, and a tourniquet. So I think that's gonna be that's just that feeling of what he's got.
Got the Texas.
I
in
just
there.
heard the Texas twang in there. Yeah.
twang in there, and it's fine because Taylor's gonna sing a song about it, and we're gonna make enough money for the ambulance.
There's also about 3 phrases I hear. The going forward. He says going forward all the time.
Going forward.
For the rest of the season.
But he
you know,
doesn't say
going-
forward. He says forward.
Forward. You know, and nothing's ever a game. It's a football game.
Okay, well, got one.
When's your football game?
Football game. Wilhelmina. He does that. Wilhelmina.
Yeah,
like it's a Wilhelmina. There's a. There's a I could and AIU sometimes. Wow, those are my favorite vowels.
So have you been just sitting and watching his interviews? Have you?
I did a little
Googled?
bit, but it was like I'd watched it before. But what's the take? You can have if the voice doesn't have to be 100% on the money. It just has to be good enough when you have the take, and then you can be cartoon. Because there's that thing where he hits
It's
it,
the
you were hitting it,
caricature
do that,
drawing.
where he gets there's
Yeah.
a goose stuck in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like where does that come from? It's real soft, and then that comes out of
Like
nowhere.
there's a perpetual phlegm issue going on.
Okay.
And then you get the little the little laugh.
Play that. We have it as a drop every now and then.
That's almost Seth Rogen. That.
Yeah, pretty close.
There's a lot. We have what else do we have that we use for drops? We have
That's about.
no. We have several more. We have like how's everybody doing?
You go, how's
How's everybody doing?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That was early on.
But the one that Kurtis hit on it, he says the word football a lot.
Yeah.
Like
Which a lot of football
it's never
guys
the
do
ball.
say
I
I don't know
football.
what that is because you listen
love to talk about-
Mike McCarthy talk. Mike McCarthy's another guy. We'll go football game, go play football. Like it's like we know what
Yeah.
sport you're playing.
Yeah.
Some good
We know
football
it's
team. Like football. Like
not a volleyball.
our team.
Yeah.
We know it's your team. You don't need to specify football. We realize who you are.
And that's the only sport that does that. I mean,
yeah, I think you're right.
I never hear. I'm gonna throw the baseball. You know, if I can get out there and just kind of hit the baseball harder, you don't hear that. Shoot the basketball.
yeah. Just good
They won't even say they'll say score the ball, which sounds weird.
That seems recent to me. Is
Yeah.
score the ball?
Score the
ball.
Like in the last 5 or 10 years, I've heard score the ball.
You mean just score?
scoring?
What
yeah.
else are you going to score?
Yeah, I don't.
Your shoe?
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of has to be the ball.
I had never heard that till maybe like in the
Say
last 5
exactly.
years, right?
Yes,
Am I crazy?
yeah. No,
And
I'm
now
with you.
Everyone says it.
Yeah, I don't know how that.
It's in the
It seems
zeitgeist.
like there's certain every few years, every year, there's a new thing they get latched onto and say. There's a catchphrase, but I had not heard "line to gain" until recently. The line to gain,
yes.
like for everybody said for a first down, and then the last 5 years or so, there's the line to 2 yards to the line to gain or whatever. I'm going, what? How did that get in the vernacular?
Yeah.
I've never heard that before, and it might have been around some, and somebody said it once in a while, but now it's everybody says it.
There's a couple others that I'm trying to like off the top of my head. It feels like it is football. Like football has to do their own shtick.
Yeah, right.
You know, we're the most watched, so we have our own thing that we're going to do. But there was one that we were talking about that everybody is now doing. I don't remember.
Should have wrote that down.
I don't remember what it was, but
Is it learn ball? Is it that one?
And they
well, there
know
is the
ball.
whole you don't know ball.
Do you know ball?
That's
That
for
feels
the
like
bros.
I love ball.
Oh, is that? I felt like a southern thing.
Or love
like,
ball, like Tyrann Mathieu. I love ball, man. I
Yeah.
love ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you want it specified.
That's where you want to say football.
Yeah, we want it specified there.
Yeah.
But I don't know about when you're a football coach doing a football press conference about your football team that you need to say is football as much as I just said right there.
Yeah. It is amazing how it just layers on and layers on and layers on. Are you sitting here, like, because I know your Barkley is incredible. Do you sit and watch Barkley every night, or is Barkley just
No, I mean,
easy
he's funny
does it?
because he's the only one who will say that those guys suck, man. Nobody in national television uses the word suck to describe anything, but he will do it at halftime, beginning, and he's barely paying attention most of the time. But, again, we don't watch Charles Barkley, I don't think. You know, he has the gravitas for the analysis, and you're good with it. But then you just want to see what Charles is going to go off on. The NBA, it's now NBA, I guess, on ESPN. But when it was NBA and TNT inside the NBA,
Yeah.
I mean, when those guys are going off, that's the most fun. When they're just completely off on a tangent.
Yeah,
So
if he sat there and just gave you a perfect breakdown
Yeah,
of what
it'd be
happened,
boring.
but did nothing, you'd be like, why did I watch this?
Anybody can do that. I
Yes.
want to see Charles is the Terry Bradshaw of basketball, right?
Yeah.
And that's where he came from. Is though the people who put that show together came from the NFL on Fox.
I'm glad you said that with Bradshaw, because Bradshaw's kind of become a caricature of himself.
Kind of become.
was trying to
Is that
become.
line from 25
Listen,
years
I don't
ago?
know who all you know,
the thing-
and I go, hey, yeah, Bradshaw's kind of this babbling idiot now, and you go, well, you know, he is godfather to my son.
Well,
But-
yeah. Even if he was, I'd have to
But the
admit the
phone
truth.
call to Andy Reid about buying a cow or whatever the heck that was. He said something last
don't
year.
even remember that.
He was
Oh,
on
God.
the set, and he goes, got a phone call from Andy Reid, and something about
I said,
buying
you do the barter system? What do you do? Barter system
Yeah.
or you go cold cash? Because I'm ready to barter, man. I've been overseas somewhere. What's overseas? Anybody know another name of a country? When he's doing highlights, that's the thing. He knows nobody's names. He makes Charles Barkley seem like Jim Nance.
Charles Barkley doing college basketball, too.
Well, Charles
even
Barkley,
worse.
yeah, Barkley.
He becomes Barkley doing college basketball.
With the purple shoes just passed to the guy with the headband. This game sucks, man. What's going on? What is the first 4 game? These guys are terrible.
Bradshaw doing that, he's like, there's the guy. I missed it. Back to you guys. Like, you think you'd get a guy who could read or know the names of current players, or hasn't been hasn't
Someone who'd watched a game in the last 5 years.
doesn't have
you
5
know.
different pill cases to get through the day.
He did something last year, and there's a shot. It was Michael Strahan and Howie Long are just gobsmacked. They're like, "Is this happening?" What is going on
I
here?
used to give Terry like lines. He was like, "What are you doing this week? Can you tell me?" And they didn't want me to tell him. And then I finally started telling him because all he would say is, "Not funny, Frank, not funny," which worked for a while. But then it was all the time, and the president of Fox Sports didn't like it, even though it was becoming a big catchphrase. And he wanted him to have a reason for that. So I'd give him lines to say, and then he wouldn't say it. He'd just go, "Not funny, Frank." And I talked to him after. I'm like, "Why didn't you say the line?" I forgot it. I'm like, "Write it down." All you have to do is write it down and read it off the piece of paper.
So, like, what would the line be? Like,
Well, I'd say, we're going to do this joke and this joke. Here's a way for you to make fun of me this week. And
you would write a joke.
Write a joke
with
for
you as
him
the
to come
butt
back.
for him
Yeah.
to look witty.
So he would have a comeback, and he couldn't do it. Like, he's just like, "I don't know, man. I can't remember." Write it down.
Yes. You took some shots to the dome
Yeah. I mean,
in an era when they didn't call a flag for a flag for
I used
anything.
to try. I used to see how many stars I could see. The only thing is I couldn't count past 3.
he's always got jokes like that.
Yeah.
He told me a story. He's like,
I was working for, one of those big drug companies telling about doing my stories. I do my stories. That's for Frank. That's why you get paid so much, because you have an act. I just tell stories and hope. But I was doing and I was up there and I was dying. It was a corporate event. It was awful, man. I'm just doing it. No, nobody's laughing. And I'm thinking halfway through, I'm sweating. I'm thinking, I'm going to give them the money back. I'm going to tell them I got to give them the money back. I get off stage. That CEO comes over to me and says, they're the best speaker we have ever had. You're the #1 speaker. We can't wait to have you again next year. You were incredible. You know what the moral of the story is, Frank? Never think about telling them you're going to give them back the money. Never even think of. Don't let it cross your mind, Frank.
I don't suppose it ever has.
no. I mean, he's
For a comic, the job you guys do to get up on stage in front of people, or to do put together like you would do for the football shows and everything.
I mean, those are two totally.
They are two totally different, but
activities.
both of them take giant balls.
Yeah, I think
Like,
so.
I mean, I know anything you do over and over again, repetition makes everything better, right? Like, there are people that think our job is tough, right? Interns come like, we put them on the mic, and they're like, no.
Yeah, right.
And we're like, no, it's just like 4 of us sitting here BSing,
Right.
like you'd be doing with
It's
a couple
hard
of
to be
Coronas at the
natural
bar.
on purpose.
Right.
That's a difficult thing. People don't understand.
So I do get, and that with repetition, everything becomes easier. But like, you're putting here, everybody look at me, and I'm going to charge you to do it. Like that takes a little swagger.
Yeah, I think so. But you've got to be good, and you have to know what you're doing up there.
We do a bad show, like we didn't take 50 off everybody, before we got started.
Right. Yeah.
If one of our jokes doesn't land, we don't have to stand there and.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing I love
flop
about radio is I get to flesh things out because then you're in the middle of a conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, the NFL on Fox stuff, we were the only thing that was taped, really, other than like a tape package that was just highlights and stuff like that. So the key to the NFL on Fox stuff is those guys are goofing around, similar to the Inside the NBA crew, where the funny parts of that show are mistakes that they're making when they're trying to be serious. When they're trying to be funny, a lot of times you're going, where's this going? Until it gets so bad that they're making, like when they had the during the March Madness stuff. When they had the talking basketball, the creepy talking basketball, and they couldn't make fun of it early, and then they're just like,
What in the world are we doing here, man? This creepy looking basketball looks like Chucky. Chucky got inflated, man. What is this?
Did the basketballs? I only saw it once. Was it doing like a Barkley impression?
No.
too?
It was a different. It was like a hey kind of guy. I think it was something like that. But
wow.
Barkley, they're all just looking around like, how do we get out of this? Who's sponsoring this? And that's the funny stuff that is really great when something would go off the rails. Now my stuff was always taped at Fox, so you couldn't do something, and people don't naturally understand that when they're watching TV. They don't think, oh, I can't tell if it's landing or not landing because it's taped and edited.
Yeah.
So you don't know till the end of the piece.
To me, the favorite thing when the clips, and I've been seeing a lot of it lately on various social medias, is the Galveston, where they were doing something at the end of a playoffs series, and Chuck had been riffing on how bad Galveston was,
Right.
and actually Shaq set it up. He goes, "Man, the Miami Heat really disappointment. Where they going, Chuck? Galveston, that dirty water." And he started to do this riff about dirty water, and everyone think they're going to a vacation, and they're going to dirty water. And Shaq is losing his mind. He's head's on the desk, and he's throwing his hand back. I've never seen Shaquille O'Neal laugh that much. But that was completely, you couldn't have done that in a tape segment.
Yeah.
Well, the Galveston is what they always.
Yeah.
That's because.
But he just
Because
lobbed it
at
up
some
to him.
point, Charles Barkley obviously went to Galveston and went, this is the worst beach I've ever
Only
been to
thing
in my
worse
life.
is the big old ladies in San Antonio, man. You're not doing that again, are you? He's doing that again. He's doing that again.
The best was when Shaq
Hey,
was...
people don't know if like you've never been to Galveston. It's where the Mississippi empties out. Like you go either like, it ain't exactly the turquoise, picturesque blue water.
Right. No.
There's like plenty of Mississippi River water that's emptying out there into the ocean, and that's where Galveston is. So you get kind of this greenish, green to brown hint to maybe a blue.
Is it
yeah,
taupe?
yeah, kind of water, and it's like that's why he's like, oh, Galveston's terrible, man. It's
Oh, it was
terrible.
really bad, man.
But what was the best when Shaq was doing that olive oil diet? Was it last year or the year before?
yes.
And he just got up. And he's like, oh. And he like the hydraulic lips. You see him get up. He's like,
Shaq's got to go take a Shaq, man. It was bad. Bad news for that knucklehead.
How much does that work because of Ernie Johnson's just like?
Well,
I'm
he's
just gonna-
like James Brown. James Brown, who was
and not like Joe
back then-
Buck, who feels the one issue, the gripe I have. People in this town don't like Joe Buck because of the 2014 World Series. I think he's spectacular.
Yeah,
but the one thing I wish he would do less is try to be funny.
Well, I don't think. I think Joe's.
I mean, like, Joe Aikman's not gonna be funny,
Joe
but-
is incredibly funny, and it's not that. Joe is very dark in his sense of humor. So
I think
what he would do best wouldn't go over well on. He's very, very funny.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious, is it because he's next to Tony Romo that you
Or
like?
Troy Aikman.
Oh yeah, Troy Aikman.
But
Troy
yeah,
Aikman.
yeah,
Troy
Aikman's not funny either,
He's
so.
not funny.
Yeah.
Ever has
But I-
he ever been
Not
funny?
funny, Troy. Not funny.
But I get the feeling if Joe Buck was with John Madden, he'd still be the same guy he was. He wouldn't, Pat Summerall got out of the way.
Yeah, but
He would let John.
Right, but it's a different time.
Yeah,
too.
that's
I mean,
true.
Yeah.
they want you talking more. You couldn't
that's
do
fair.
to the 20, to
Yeah.
the 20. But you
Right.
couldn't. You have to be engaging the audience more. I think it's just the way the world is now that you have to talk more, and they want more of that going on.
The Ernie Johnson point, I think, is a great one, and I would put it more to when the guy who used to do the NCAA championship, the lead guy for CBS, who is with Tony Romo.
Jim
Nance.
Nance.
Jim Nance did studio for a while.
Yeah.
On
I don't
CBS,
remember that.
and it only lasted like 2 or 3 years, and it was terrible.
Oh, he came in after Musburger.
Yeah.
didn't he?
Yeah,
like
I
around
think so. And then they're
1989 or
like, okay,
90.
we got to get him out.
Right.
And then they brought in whoever does it now, who's CBS's lead guy now. Kurt
It's,
Menefee? Or no, Menefee's on
it's-
Fox.
I- I-
No,
I-
they
They went to
stole-
Greg Gumbel for a while.
No, they went and got James Brown.
Yeah.
They went and stole him away from Fox.
Right.
And then Kurt Menefee moved up at Fox. And so when they got him, and Brown, I think, gets it too. Like, it's not all about you. Like, it's
He's
not,
a traffic cop. He would
Yes,
be the first
and
to
that-
tell you I'm a traffic cop.
And Ernie is the best. He is the best because I actually think Ernie's just like, I know he loves baseball and he likes doing baseball play-by-play. I think he's kind of on baseball, but being the cop in there and knowing when Shaq and Barkley, there'd be so many guys who'd like to jump, like the young kid on CBS. He's a Syracuse guy, and I don't even remember his name, but he was doing a bunch of the studio stuff. He wants to get in on everything,
Right.
Like everyone, Shaq and Barkley are going back and forth. Oh, I want to play in the sandbox too.
Yeah.
I want to be with the guys.
I'll give you a
And
name.
Er-
Nate
and-
Burleson.
Yes.
You're the host. You can't. You're not the funny guy. Let them be the funny
well,
guy.
but to Nate
Be the
Burleson's
host.
credit, he was a football player that
Yeah.
then was an analyst that they are now making a host. I mean, he's a lead. This is not what he was always
that's true.
trying to do.
Right.
And like there are
Well,
guys
James
that
Brown is the greatest traffic cop I think of all time, and Ernie's right there with him.
Yeah.
I mean Ernie's become very similar, but that's
when Ernie starts doing highlights and they got to roll the highlights because they're trying to get out of time. They start doing and the crossfire's still going and he's like, and then it was 24 for so, and he just keeps going and there's this fireworks show going on all around him and he's
Which is-
pressing on with the
Yeah.
Which
highlights.
is actually entertaining and somewhat
Yeah.
funny because he's
yeah,
playing the straight
it's
guy.
great because he's just trying to do it. He's a foil too. I mean, he's
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Like that moment where he's
Yes.
just the other guys are doing something crazy and he's just kind of sitting there. So, and the bow tie helps him with the
Yeah.
look. That
Yeah.
whole thing, it fits in. But when JB and Kurt Menefee's solid, very good. But JB was just the greatest. I think he was just such a good traffic cop,
Yeah.
and he would and he would just lean back and be like, "Oh no, this is going to be trouble." So, but they're all. It's really people don't realize how hard that job is to keep until you see somebody who's bad at doing it. And
Yeah.
when somebody does try to jump in the sandbox and play too much, you're like, come on, just let these people who are known. You're ruining the chemistry right now. That's the thing.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like when you like if we brought 5 comedians in here, can anyone not say something
Well,
for a
it'd be
minute
tough.
and let the other thing go?
It'd be a difficult kind.
You
It's
know?
like 5 comedians going to lunch and everybody's doing their own bets. You're like, what's the deal with sandwiches?
Friday and Saturday, you're going to be at the Funny Bone, frankonstage.com, right?
Yeah, and there's another thing. It's Funny Bone has their own website, but you can get there from frankonstage.com.
And Thursday, you're going to be in Omaha because our signal does boom
Well,
up
I'm in
north.
Omaha. I'm in Omaha tomorrow. I'm
Tomorrow,
in Des
okay.
Moines on Thursday. That's actually sold out. And then Friday's one show at the Funny Bone in Kansas City, and then Saturday's 2 shows at Kansas City Funny Bone, and that's in what's Zona Rosa
Yeah.
does. And frankonstage.com will get you there, or funnybone.kc.com or kc.funnybone. I shouldn't say the wrong thing.
There's Google out there. People search it, they're going to land on it. But frankonstage.com gets you
That
there.
gets you there, yeah.
And then after that, where are you going?
I'm done for a little bit. I'm actually doing
Going home to Arizona? You still in Arizona, right?
I go to Arizona for like half a day. Then my wife and I are going out to L.A. and I'm doing a thing for the Big Ten coaches and athletic directors and presidents of the universities out there in L.A. It's the Big Ten.
So you're going to get us to the 2014 playoff then?
Yeah. I'll figure out what's going on. Work on my Kurt Signetti. And just look at like winning a national championship or getting world peace and just staring there, biting your tooth, biting your lip or your cheek, kind of a thing.
I'm already on to next year. Like he's picked up that from Saban real quick.
Yeah. He's got that going. That even Belichick's like, this guy's bum. Slow.
Wait, kc.funnybone.com.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay, that goes directly to them to the Funny Bone site. So. I appreciate it.
Frank, it's always great seeing you, buddy.
Yeah, it was great
Thanks for coming by. It's great catching up.
Yeah.
I don't know that we caught up on anything, but we always enjoy our conversation.
One last thing, did you see, and it's not a political thing, but Trump with the Indiana team, and he's like,
and Fernando Mendoza, you couldn't be here because of spring training. Spring training, you couldn't be here. They're gonna be.
I think, like that's silly. Trump knows what that is. That's a funny thing. But I'm gonna do that with Signetti.
You did own a football team at one point. You owned the New Jersey Generals. You'd think he'd know the difference.
And I thought they were the Washington Generals, because we never won. We couldn't beat the Harlem Globetrotters. They were fantastic. Curly Neal dribbled on one leg, dribbled on a knee. It was fantastic. And metal like lemon. He'd leave a sour taste in your mouth.
Frank, you're the man. We appreciate it, buddy. Have a great weekend. We encourage everybody again. FrankOnStage.com or
kc.funnybone.com.
He's going to be there Friday and Saturday night. One show on Friday night, 2 shows on Saturday. Get your tickets now. Frank, buddy, thanks so much.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
All right, Lou Whitaker, 69 today. What was unique about the jersey he wore at the 1985 All-Star Game? Brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Follow that, Frank.
Yeah, thanks.
Frank to Frank. We had back-to-back Franks on before, have we?
I'm not sure, but he's awesome.
He is great.
He's really good.
He's a fun guy to talk to.
He's a nice guy.
Couldn't be a nicer guy.
Yeah. Doesn't seem to
More-
be a whole lot of ego involved there.
No. And he could have a big one.
Yes.
He's really funny.
Yeah, I
he's
know.
really good, and he's really talented with the impressions, and it's, a lot of fun talking to
You'd
him.
never guess he was a big deal by talking to him.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason why I think he's really good, because he works so hard at it. But
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He doesn't leave anything to chance.
the ability to just
He-
drop into a voice and out and
he
into
works
another
on
voice
those
is just
things, yeah.
ridiculous.
Yep.
Thanks to Frank Caliendo, who joined us in our last segment. We welcome Frank Boll, the godfather of Kansas City sports, joins us. He's brought to you by our friends at Applause Custom Sight and Sound. Kansas City's best when it comes to your smart home technology, in-home theaters. Are you trying to watch the NBA, NHL playoffs while watching the Worlds? Well, you could do it if you knew Applause Custom Sight and Sound. How about rocket fast Wi-Fi inside your house, outside your house? Yes, with everybody streaming on the smart TVs, you need that. You can have that, Frank. How about a
Visual
smart office?
stimulation.
How about a smart office, Frank? Do you need a smart office? Do you need a conference room where you can get everybody in the world all online and meeting with you and everything? Well, they can do that too.
That's exactly what I need at my age.
Craftsmanship, customer service, and of course the best when it comes to high-tech technology. It is Applause Custom Sight and Sound. Find them online at applausetheater.com. Frank, how are you?
I'm great. How are you guys today? I guess you're in a better mood now since Frank Caliendo was here.
Tough to be in a bad mood after he leaves.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
See you, Frank. Whatever. What am I doing with my life?
Thanks for making us laugh, I guess.
Yeah.
It's tough to be in a
Yeah.
bad mood with that. What do you? I'm not going to try to have you do jokes because you
No,
fail
please
miserably.
don't. Yes, I would.
Let's talk about Week 1, Chiefs Broncos. Should that be in KC or should it be in Denver? What's the better location, knowing that's the game?
Well, number one, starting a little bit later. I mean, that's the game. It's on
Getting
the
an extra
14th.
day to get Patrick Mahomes ready. Is that what you're saying?
Starting like on the 14th of September. It's almost mid-September by the time they get their first game. That gives Patrick Mahomes a little bit longer to go. I think that's going to sound like conspiracy theory, but I think they know more about Bo Nix and Patrick Mahomes' injuries and where they are rehab-wise than we do.
Oh, well, hang on. Is that supposed to be news? If
No.
the teams that employ the doctors that look at them
Right?
don't know more than us.
No, I'm just saying that the NFL, the schedule makers, and everybody else in the NFL knows a little bit more than we do as well. Okay, you know what I mean? That both Nix and Mahomes would be present on that day to make it that game. All right, that's the only thing I'm looking at.
I would
And
tend to agree that would seem to be a
because-
pretty big leap of faith if you'd end up getting Justin Fields versus.
Jared Stidham.
Is it Jared Stidham still?
Yeah.
He's off your team. You had to drop
Graham.
him. Don't pump your fist on Jared Stidham.
Still a fan.
Yeah, you can imagine those two guys run out on the opening Monday night football game. Oh God, what is happening? Yeah, and I really think, hey, the Broncos were 2-0 against the Chiefs last year, and they won the AFC West. They deserve to have come out of the gate with a home game against that football team. That's just me. Okay, I know you
pointed
throw
me
your
for?
hand up, and
Well, that was
that's it.
kind of the point you were making, wasn't it?
No, I said my point was that the Broncos likely feel like they
Deserve it.
They should have a home game for one of
Yes.
the division.
Absolutely, they should. I mean, they're going to get a home and away anyway.
Did the
against
Chiefs?
so-
The Chiefs won 7 in a row. Did they open for 7 consecutive years at home?
Well, they didn't open at home last year after coming off a Super
Right.
Bowl. So
Yeah, right.
So no.
Fair point.
Well, that was their home game that they went ahead and let go to Brazil.
Ah,
So technically, that was a home game.
okay.
But somebody's like, and you're going to play that Friday. They're going to play that. Somebody's going to play in Australia. Somebody's giving up a home game for that. But that was their home
sure.
game. But I think the answer is no. I don't think they opened at home every year.
Well, I'm sure they didn't.
I mean, I get it if that's the tradition you want to make. Is that okay and win? But I don't know. I think most coaches would be like, no, I'm okay opening on the road when the weather's nice. Let's open on the road in Green Bay. Like, I know Andy Reid likes playing cold games at home here in December and
Right.
January.
So then Denver goes
So if you open on the road, it gives you a better chance to have home games later.
in December in Denver
And
for Denver. If you're
That
thinking,
game in Brazil was a Chargers home game. The Chargers came here later in the year. That was a game that
yeah,
It was?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And that was the game that Mahomes got hurt in.
So, but okay, so the Chiefs still didn't open at home.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Right.
They didn't open it. They wouldn't have been at home last year for the opener. Now they moved it, but
Well, I think the only reason
24.
that was the opener was because the Chargers were willing to play the Chiefs down there.
probably so.
Because they're a road team when they play at home against the Chiefs.
Yeah, 2022 coming off of the AFC Championship game. They were at Arizona, so
2018, they were away as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's happened a number of times.
Yeah,
I think you want the most compelling television matchups.
Yeah.
I do too.
And I think you need to make sure that you've got good TV matchups each week. That doesn't happen very often. Sometimes that's just because teams get hurt and things go south. But I really do think that whoever's got say in the schedule is not good. I don't think they do a very good job of making the NFL schedule.
No,
I think
agree.
they put way too many teams that the arrow is pointing down on national TV games because they have no ability to assess.
What this team is going to look like
Yeah.
in that particular year, yeah. And there's teams that they hardly give any primetime games to anyway, and that is a team all of a sudden that team's in the race for the AFC Championship or the NFC Championship, They come out of nowhere to contend. We have teams like that every year. Just that happens every year.
But the coming out of nowhere, like the NFL loves 16 out of the last 18 years, the last place team has made the playoffs.
Yeah,
because
There
the
are four
last place team was
4 teams.
7-10 and lost their
Yes.
quarterback for 11 weeks.
Yes.
They won the division the year before. Like, stop bragging like
Yeah.
it's just an absolute dice throw. You just don't
Crapshoot.
know.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, there are only 14. Like when there were 5 teams, maybe.
Let me let you in on a secret. An Aaron Glenn led Jets team with who's quarterbacking the Jets?
Gosh, is it?
That's how good he is.
They grabbed somebody
Geno Smith?
with Geno Smith at quarterback. They're not going to the playoffs.
No.
They're done. They're done right now. And I'll even add, and with that owner, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah. They have 4 quarterbacks in their roster: Geno Smith, Brady Cook, Cade Klubnik, and Bailey Zappi.
Bailey Zappi might end up getting a call.
Not exactly
Brady
the
Cook might be
mid-80s.
the best one on the roster, and he can't throw the ball 50 yards.
It's
I mean,
something.
Another reason you just bless the gods and Patrick Mahomes. Make sure he comes back in one piece and 100% right out of the chute and get going again. We'll see how that is as well. We'll see how he does come out of the chute and how Bo Nix comes out of the chute as well.
yes.
Because Mahomes did not have a great year last year.
I object. For the same thing, Kurtis talked about the 22 season being maybe the greatest quarterback season ever when he threw. Granted, the numbers were much better, 5,241 touchdowns. But when you look back, and he didn't have a receiver catch more than 4 touchdowns, and that was McCole Hardman.
Yeah.
Who probably 2 of them were shovel passes.
Yeah.
And yet he throws for 5,241 touchdowns as the MVP right after Tyreek Hill goes. Last year's team was worse. They were worse.
Oh,
Yeah.
Travis Kelce is not the Travis Kelce that he had that year when he caught 1,400, almost 1,500 yards.
And he's
Offensive
back.
line was better.
And Kelsey's back at his age.
Who was the offensive line that year? That year would have been Trey Smith, would have been
Yeah.
would have been Creed Humphrey, would have been Joe Tooney. The left tackle would have been Orlando Brown,
See,
right?
Orlando Brown.
Yeah. Brown, Tooney, Humphrey, Smith, and Andrew Wiley.
It's 3 of them are the same, or 2 of them are the same.
Yeah.
If they can get the left tackle on the field and healthy and playing and in a rhythm, I think they'll be pretty good.
Yeah.
But
That's if. That's if.
yeah.
Plus, the running game has been bolstered. That'll help because virtually every offensive lineman, I think, has at least a general concept of how to run block. Okay, and they enjoy run blocking. But the wide receiver core wouldn't scare me if I'm a defense coordinator. I don't care who's playing quarterback for the Chiefs. Okay, that outfit, they would not scare me. I'd just go, what?
Well, I think that's, I'm concerned about the offense.
Yes. I agree totally.
They've put a lot into coaching. It was the problem, and if there was a position that was addressed, it was running back, but
And
they
you got
didn't really
Bieniemy.
address anything else.
Yeah, I just saw
with talent.
I just saw ESPN doing something about the NFL. They did something on the Chiefs, and they had all the additions and subtractions. At the bottom, added Eric Bieniemy.
Unless they figure, kind of one of our themes has been, they're going to play football again next year. They thought we can't do this in 1 year.
Exactly.
We really need the talent on defense. We're going to do the defense this year. We're going to do some coaching tweaks. We're going to get a new running back, and then next year, we won't be ninth overall, but we'll be able to address more talent.
I agree with
on the offensive side of year.
I agree with the sentiment of what you're saying, but I think they would have done more on offense if that was their plan and said, we'll live with a lesser defense. I do think it is entirely possible. Look, what do I really think happened? I think they blocked in on Mansour Delane really early, knew what it was going to take to get him. They had a fallback plan in case somebody took him 2 or 3. Their fallback plan was going to be, I'm sure they would have listened to trade downs, and I think they would have taken Tate, the wide receiver from Ohio State, if he was there. I think that was one of those two was
On
who
the
they wanted.
table.
Yeah, and I think everybody knew Cleveland was moving out, so you had to be ready. 6 was where you were going to have to go to if you were going up. None of the other teams were moving out. And so based on that, they went, okay, we got to go for him. I do think that they came to this draft saying we have to have 2 corners. And if they didn't get Delane, then they were going to take a corner at 29. And we heard Brett Veach's explanation. They didn't think the second guy, the San Diego State guy, was going to, and he didn't make it to him, and they didn't feel like he would make it to him. So if that was the case, and they just stayed put at 9 and took whoever they took, they were going to be moving their 3rd round pick to get up into the do what they did for Trent McDuffie and take Johnson.
Yeah.
And they're like,
They went
well, might as well go get the
27.
guy we really want.
Yeah.
We'll throw in the 5th, and we'll go get the guy we really want. So I get it, but and so once you kind of set down that path of Delane, then I think, I think they're probably looking D-tackle. Was it Caleb Downs? That was the Florida kid. I always get his name wrong.
Caleb Banks.
Caleb Banks might have been a possibility. He was gone. And so that puts Peter Woods up there. There were no offensive tackles.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Everybody they could have had was gone to support that offensive line or a wide receiver.
Cooper McDonald was there, but I don't think they saw him the way we see him. Like, I saw him as a legit possibility there. That's the guy I'll track. I don't think they, for whatever reason, were locked in on Cooper. I think there wasn't even close. Like, they're like Peter Woods.
He wasn't on their board that high.
No, and from what I hear, they were pretty fired up on the R. Mason Thomas. I think I think he was probably even in consideration for 29. And so then it's just kind of snowballs. It kind of gets going. I think they wanted to take a running back in the 25 draft. And we're not taking one in the 1st, and then the 2nd happened, and the 3rd, and the 4th. Okay, now in the 5th we're ready to go, but then a run happens, and they had Jeffrey Bossa ranked really high. Mm-hmm. I mean, right now that doesn't look good, but so they didn't address running back. So I think that's part of the reason why then they traded up in the 5th was they're like, well, we had this get away from us. We're not taking a chance that Emma Johnson doesn't get to us. We're going and getting him.
Yeah, we can't do it again. That's right.
But I wonder how much, since help me out, Curtis. What was the guy's name that was the second corner?
Second corner was Chris Johnson.
Chris
San Diego
Johnson
State.
from San Diego State.
Yeah.
Since Chris Johnson was their second guy, and they had a ballpark of where they were, I wonder. The thing I would ask on like, did you explore fully something other than Mansour Delane? Would be, did you really look into what you could do to go backwards? And I don't mean just backwards to 12 with the Cowboys, which the Cowboys were clearly looking to come up. I think Delane was probably their target. Downs was their fallback, and I don't know that they would have felt like they needed to get to 9. But what was there somebody that was talking next year picks to come from way back? The Julio Jones, Falcons move of Julio Jones, the Chiefs move for Patrick Mahomes. Was there somebody at 19, 20, 21? I'm looking at a team here.
Carolina, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh.
Did Pittsburgh, did they really like, well, Jordan Tyson went at 8. So if you're holding at 9, You know, was there somebody that, or maybe
Well,
to
they
get
went
to
tackle. Did they want a better tackle? Did they want Fano
get-
or
yeah,
Marinoa?
yeah, they went tackle because Mekhi Lemon got stolen from them.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, did somebody go, okay, we've got to get up and get Spencer Fano. We have to get up and get Maui Goa.
Mm-hmm.
Could they have gone back and would the Steelers have gone, we'll give you next year's first and 20-something right now?
If you're building for 2027,
No,
is
I-
that what you're thinking?
no, I'm just
Or you're
thinking-
just
I'm
trying
just
to get
thinking-
the best guy. You're
I'm just
trying to get
thinking-
the guy. Or the biggest need.
My opinion is if you're safe in your job, which I think everyone over there
I
is,
think they are.
then it doesn't matter when you get the picks. Just accumulate the most picks. Unless, you know, it's the reason why they say, well, this year's picks are worth more than future picks is because usually it's a GM and coach that are like, if we don't win, we're fired. So we don't really care about what we're trading on because we ain't going to be here to
Ain't
make
gonna-
that pick
And we've
if we
seen
don't make
those
this work.
moves
If we don't
happen, and
win.
we've been gone.
Yeah.
That's
And-
what that's all about.
And so, you know, Pittsburgh probably isn't that team. I don't think Philadelphia's GM would be in that mindset, but their coach could be. He seems to be perennially on the hot seat. Did the Cowboys have somebody else at their second pick? Like, if you could have gotten another first-round pick for next year and still stayed in the first round and then taken the second-best corner, you know, or, you know,
Vikings
supposedly
at 18 might not
Or-
kind of
or-
fit that bill. They're
A D line. Some
Yeah, because
Yeah.
or do you end up taking Casey Concepcion? Mm-hmm. You know, you grab a wide receiver because they were supposedly interested in him, and then at 29, because you're all in that you've got to commit to corner, then you take Colton Hood, right? You get the third best corner, and then at 40, do you take a defensive tackle, or do you stay with R. Mason Thomas and you get your defensive tackle later, like because you'd still have 74? You know, I wonder if they really explored all the possibilities of trading down and getting a lot more draft capital. That's I doubt that they went to the nth degree to see, well, you know, I know we don't get Mansour Delane, and I know we get the second or third best corner in this scenario, but all of a sudden we have 10 picks for next year already, and we've got 10 picks for this year. Mm-hmm. You know, we're throwing numbers at the problem for 2 years.
Yeah, Veach's comments about Delane, it's interesting because when he said that, you know, we kind of targeted him early. It was kind of like that's why it was important to go up and get him. But that's an interesting flip side of that you bring up. Did they commit to it too early to the point where we'll pay anything? That can be a reason to validate the move, but can also be a reason to question, were you so married to this guy that you decided we have to get him, we'll do anything to do it?
Right, and they might have thought that he was going to fall to them anyway, that he wouldn't go that high and they wouldn't have to trade out. But when you go back to talk about scenarios, those guys, those scouts, and Brett Veach, his whole scouting staff, whatever, even with the input of Andy Reid, I think they go over every scenario 800 times. Okay, you know what I mean? Like trade back. How many more? What's next year's draft look like? Who are these kids coming out next year? What positions do they play? How effective are they going to be? What are we going to need next year out of this as well? But I think they go over virtually every scenario because that's all they do. That's all every day. They're evaluating these players, and they evaluate the draft and where they're going to be. And then when they do find out where they're going to be, and last year was an anomaly for them, and whatever that was, anomaly for them to be that high in the draft and never been up there before, until they didn't even get that high when they traded for Mahomes. You know what I mean? So it was like it was a different spot for them, and that I still think they studied everything they could possibly study in all those days, all those hours. They say we're getting 4 hours of sleep a night and doing all the Gunther Cunningham thing. I just think they look at everything, every possible thing. And this is how.
Well, they better because they've got all day to do it.
Yes, exactly, and it is their job. You have one job.
I look at 74, which was the bigger pick that went in that deal. Malachi Fields is who ultimately ended up being taken there by the Giants because it got moved again. But, you know, the names that I'll be intrigued by, Chris McClellan, defensive tackle, Missouri, Albert Regis, defensive tackle, A&M, Dominique Orange, the local kid, defensive tackle, Iowa State.
Who's the other kid from Missouri?
He wasn't available at 74.
Okay.
And then Darrell Jackson, who went at the top of the fourth round.
He was available at 40, but not 74.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the other thing. Like, you know, like if you go corner there, like that's what I'm saying, but you have 74, you can get a defensive tackle at 74. So whether it's taking offensive linemen up there at 1, up there at 9, and then, okay, you play it the same way, whether you take
your
Peter
chances.
Woods at 29 or you move picks to get up and get a corner, or you just take the third best corner. I mean, like, that's the thing is, like, Mansour Delane has to be definitively better than any other corner in this draft class.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, otherwise,
And
You used a really
more
high-
so than than if they had just had the 6th pick.
yes.
Because it isn't what had to be sold to get to that spot is considerable. Because we kind of noted the day after, if the Chiefs had done the opposite trade, if they'd done what the Browns did, if they were sitting there at 6 and they traded back to 9 and picked up 40 or 74 and 148, be like, wow, that's a nice move. Still got a high top 10 pick and picked up a 3rd and a 5th. Nice job. So that's clearly is a lot to pay. So, yeah, he has to be even better than a 6th overall pick would normally be.
And you do keep an eye on that anyway. You always
Oh,
do to see. But is there someone still out there that would be a real possibility as a wide receiver to bring in? Is Deebo Samuel out there? So, I know.
Deebo
Nobody
Samuel
wants to-
is out
I mean,
there.
he's out there. So is he? Doggone it. Who's the other free agent wide receiver is just sitting out there?
Well, there's actually a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I'll tell you here in a second. I'll give you the list.
right.
But there's Deebo Samuel. There's Gabe Davis. There's
Is there a veteran guy to bring in who has had some success out there that wouldn't cost him an arm and a leg?
I mean, I think you're available right now for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, we just
somebody
saw-
wants a big contract, right?
I would love to see what Njoku's. He just signed for 1 year with the Chargers, and everyone the reporting, because clearly the source is the agent who is only telling them up to $8 million. Okay, I'm not going to be shocked if we find out it's 1 year, $4 million, with incentives that can take it to 8. My assumption is it's going to be like 5.5, 6. But the agent is only putting out there up to $8 million. So in everyone's mind, they've got Njoku at 1 for 8, right? That's not what it is. It's up to $8 million, and so. Like, I think what's out there is damaged goods. Here's based upon how they made their checks last year. Here's available: Tyreek Hill, Stefan Diggs, Deebo Samuel, Curtis Samuel, DeAndre Hopkins, Noah Brown, Keenan Allen, Jahan Dotson, Kadaro Hodge, Josh Reynolds, Tim Patrick, Zay Jones, Hunter Renfrow, Braxton Berrios, Sterling Shepard, Sky Moore, Juju Smith-Schuster.
Jeez.
Juju.
I mean, Brandon Cooks only made 1.255 last year for the Bills. I don't know how the Chiefs didn't get him last year for that number, because he seems to be what is. Gabe Davis is on down there. I mean, what tickles your fancy? Who do you think can still play?
No, that's what I mean. Is there a guy there that looks like you could bring him in and he would help bolster, not just fill in or in the rotation, but really bolster that wide receiver group? It just doesn't seem like there is a guy.
I guess out of that
half of them
bunch,
played for the Chiefs at one
Yeah.
time or another.
yeah. Like, I'm not going to be shocked if Juju Smith-Schuster's back here at 1
Yeah.
for 1-4
I'd
again.
be shocked if Sky was back, but that would.
I would be, although how many teams have now had Gabe Davis? I guess he went back to the Bills, so just the Bills and Jags.
I'm intrigued by Jahan Dotson, just because of the age.
Didn't he,
He is
want?
young. He's 26, just over 26.
Didn't he want the big contract though? Isn't he the
Who?
one? Jawan Dotson. Isn't
Jahan
he-
Dotson?
Jahan Dotson. Isn't he
I
the
don't
one
think
that asked
so.
for a big contract?
That's Juwan Jennings.
Yeah,
Oh, Jawan
yeah,
Jennings.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Which, what did he end up getting?
Yeah. And who'd he sign with?
But, I would have interest in Brandon Cooks at a really cheap price, Gabe Davis. Jahan Dotson can't catch.
That's a
That's
problem.
No, I don't know that Gabe Davis can catch
That's a
either,
problem
though.
with
It's a little bit of an
wide
issue for a
receiver.
wide receiver.
When half of your name is receive.
I mean, I'm intrigued by what they see for Tyquan Thornton. They gave him a 2-year deal.
Yeah,
I mean, he was on waivers.
totally. So I'm talking about that doesn't scare you. Those guys don't scare you. I mean,
And
and their tight end who's aging out.
And then he
of the
showed
NFL?
he showed some promise, and then Hollywood Brown came back, and they went, all right, you sit over there.
Hollywood Brown, yeah, I don't.
It was one of the stranger developments from this past year.
I would.
You wouldn't think they'd bring back Tyreek Hill, do you?
No, I don't think Tyreek Hill's playing football again.
Okay.
I think he's done.
Done. Injured.
And I definitely don't think. I don't think they'd bring back Tyreek Hill when he was catching 1,800 yards with the passes, and you're definitely not dealing with this crap when he's going to catch 800 yards, maybe the rest of his career, and bitch about not getting the ball. I mean, what happens to wideouts when they start aging? It's never their fault.
No.
I'm open.
Like, you're not open. Like, let me tell you something. You're not open anymore. That's why we don't throw you the ball, for crying out loud.
We have some breaking news about the Week 1 game. It is official. It will be played in Kansas City.
Thank you.
There you go.
All right.
I rest my case.
You win.
I don't need to talk to you people anymore.
There. Okay. Okay. Well, then
Enough of that.
it's in KC.
What's
All
it?
right, good
They
deal.
got this one right. I think it should be in KC. Especially because if Mahomes doesn't play, the only chance of it being a good game, once you've committed to this one being what you're going to play, the only chance of it being a good game is to put it at, if Mahomes doesn't play, is to make it a home game for the Chiefs.
Yeah, and to me too, if Bo Nix is fine and he's playing, Mahomes is fine playing, I'm going to be really intrigued to see how he does. Patrick Mahomes does against Denver defense on that opening night, coming back, trying to shake off some rust. It's our first game of the season and the whole thing. I mean, if anybody could do it, it's him. But that's going to be interesting to see how that works out.
I think it's the right thing to do for the TV part of it, but I will say this: it now means that you have 16 games in 17 weeks, and 9 of them are on the road.
Yeah, and yeah,
Like the rest of the way, when you're only playing the 8 home games and you have one of them first, it's at a time where you've just been home for 2 weeks. You get the week off in between the last preseason game and everything, and you're going to play at home. Might not have been the worst thing in the world to get on a plane there.
yeah,
And
take
go
the
play
short
on the
trip.
road, and then come back and be 8 home, 8 away the rest of the way.
Yeah,
So, something to think about, Frank.
but it's here. We got it now. Now it's official. And do you think they will go to Madrid? Do you think they will be pegged for an overseas game? I think they'd like to
no.
go. I think
Clark Hunt
Clark
didn't
would
seem to
like to
think
go.
so.
Yeah,
No.
he'd like to go to Madrid.
He thought they were better than no better than Earl. He was less than a 50-50 shot or something along that line.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I say no because they've lobbied so hard for it. Makes me think that they've read the room, and the room is not saying you're going to get it.
yeah,
But
it's almost like being the perennial on Christmas Day. It's played on an NFL,
Which is
type
fine.
schedule.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, okay,
We'll see where it goes from here.
yeah.
We'll take a break. The Godfather, Frank Bull, is here. We'll get some Frank opinions next.
The program with Soren Petro.
I need a reporter who's never played basketball and is 5'2".
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
5'8" and change, really. Sorry, Coach. 5'8" and change. All Weather Decks has got you covered. Has your old deck seen better days? You got a crumbling patio. You got a deck that's rotting. Maybe a screened-in porch that everything's falling apart on. Let All Weather Decks build your dream outdoor living space. Maybe you don't have any outdoor living space at all. Shame on you. Shame on you. Increase the usable square footage of your home. Increase the value of your home. Let the experts at All Weather Decks go to work for you. They're only 6 or 7 weeks away from starting your project. Why do I use that amount of time? Because that's about how long it takes to pull the permits. Once they have the permits, they're ready to go. Multiple crews working all over the metro means they can start your project sooner. They also send a full crew. You know, a lot of folks, they mean well. They come, they tear stuff out. Then you don't see them for 2 weeks. And then they send a guy over after you complain for half a day, and he kind of pushes some dirt around, and then you don't see him for 2 weeks. It's not how All Weather Decks operates. They are Kansas City's best when it comes to building outdoor living spaces. So if you want it built right, that's why they've got 24 Angie Super Service Awards, Best of Houses Award winner, A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and you want it done fast, you call All Weather Decks. Building it sooner, finishing it faster, and most importantly, building it better. That's what All Weather Decks has been doing in Kansas City for more than 15 years. Locally owned and operated, they're Kansas City's best. Give Cass and his team a call today at 913-206-1974. Schedule your free consultation today. 913-206-1974. Tell them you heard about it right here on the program. Tell them 810 sent you, okay? It is a great time to get All Weather Decks working for you. I know they did a phenomenal job for me and my family. I can't recommend them highly enough. Get started online at allweatherdecks.net. That's allweatherdecks.net, and relax.
Why are you still paying on a 30-year mortgage like it's your only option? At Cap One Lending, we're changing the game with our exclusive Freedom Loan. Imagine paying off your home in half the time with about half the interest without changing your spending habits. Same income, same lifestyle, smarter strategy. Your paycheck goes to work immediately, cutting your daily interest and crushing your balance faster. This isn't a purchase or refinance gimmick. This is a proven wealth strategy most banks won't tell you about. Stop over.
All right, the Twin Peaks, end of the hour answer. Lou Whitaker, 69 today. What was unique?
Sweet Lou,
Sweet
they
Lou.
used to call him,
They
Curtis.
Did. They did.
I don't know if you know that.
I was aware. What was unique about the jersey he wore in the 1985 All-Star game in Minneapolis? One of my
It
favorites.
wasn't his.
Correct. But
I can't remember the story, but I
Yeah.
know something along those lines.
He got there, but he realized when he got to the ballpark, because he didn't get there on Monday, he actually got there the day of the game, because he wanted to spend the next day with his family. He realized his jersey and his ball cap were in a bag that he left in the back seat of his car at the Detroit airport. So he had his pants and stirrups, didn't have his jersey. So Clubby went up to the concession or the memorabilia store, got a replica jersey and bought a like a snapback cap,
Snapback cap, yeah.
and then took a pen and drew a perfect block 1 on the back of the jersey.
Oh, you're kidding me.
And he got something else. He got a.
Did they not have a name?
Didn't have a name on the back. Just
Their regular jersey, didn't?
No, just their home jerseys did.
And so did he draw that on
he
there?
didn't do that. He just put the 1 on the back of the jersey. I'll post a picture of it, and that's what he wore in the All-Star game.
And no
that
name?
year.
No name on
no
the back?
name.
Oh, gosh, that's awesome.
Because he left his jersey.
That's
He said,
funny.
oh man, he said it was in the back seat of his Mercedes at the airport in Detroit.
Good. You know what? That's good story. That's baseball lore, right?
Well, and then the fact that it was on the player to bring their jersey.
Yeah, I know.
That's what's still I'm like, they had to bring their own jersey.
Now the equipment kid would
God.
put it in the car service that's driving him to the private jet.
Yeah.
And he was also flying coach.
Yeah.
He was at the Detroit airport, probably parking in the, long-term parking.
Lot. $5 a day.
It's a pretty good one drawn on
Oh,
there.
that's a great one.
Well done, but no,
Yeah.
it's real thin, so you can see his undershirt.
Right through it,
You
yeah.
can see his undershirt because it's paper thin.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
That does not happen today.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
True story.
Frank Bull is with us, the godfather of Kansas City sports, brought to you by our friends at Applause Custom Sight and Sound. The best smart home technology, in-home theaters, security, surveillance. Applause Custom Sight and Sound. Find them online at applausetheater.com. Let's get to some Frank opinions. Cletus, where do we begin?
Let's start with one that went by the wayside when it was announced that the game will be in Kansas City. Where will the Monday night game be? Kansas City or Denver?
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Actually, Denver was the answer that won.
Really?
What was the percentage?
I'm going to go 63%.
62.
58.8. Not off to the best of starts. Another one that went away, seemingly, with the Madrid.
By the way, if I lose as bad as I did last week, we are done with this game.
Hey, wait. Why wasn't I be able to do that last year?
I am taking my ball and I am going the blank home.
He's gonna channel
on Frank opinions.
His inner Billy Packer.
I had people in my neighborhood chiding me. God, that was a rough day, huh?
People drive by. He's doing his walk. People drive by. Nice work, moron.
That makes me
Out of the street, dumbass.
that makes me feel so good.
You're doing your walk. Hey, nice work on the show there. What was that?
Oh.
Always fun.
I shake my fist at him.
You probably do a little bit more than that, but it's okay.
I'm done screwing around.
Okay.
All right? This is for real
I'm
now.
going to try now.
Now I'm going to focus. Now I'm make an effort.
He just wants it more.
All right.
Will the Chiefs close the season at home or on the road? This
On
is
the
one
road.
of those weird ones. This is like, who knows? But, Francis?
I'll say at home.
60-40 road.
I was on my way out of the chair. Stomping
He was
around.
ready. I see you got up to your knees. Okay, sit back down. Even game. What will the Royals' record be on this 6-game trip to Chicago and St. Louis? 2-4 or worse? 3-3, 4-2 or better?
I'll say 3-3.
Yeah, 3-3.
Number?
Francis?
I'll say 68%.
Oh, no, 67.
60.7. Shall we do an extra one to see which of the other two answers got the most votes? 4-2 or 2-4? Which got did better?
4-2.
Yeah, I think 4-2.
Number?
So we have 33% left. Is that right?
39% left.
It was how much?
60.7.
60.7.
Okay, so 39% left. 29%.
Whoa, 28.
26.2. Sorry, give it right back.
Such a punk.
When will the Royals get above 500? They're currently 19-22. This weekend, between May 18th and 31st, that's basically beginning next Monday to the end of the month, after June 1st, or not this year?
I'm going to say after June 1st.
Well, I'll say 18th to the 31st.
42% said after June 1st. 34% said between May 18th and 31st.
Don't tell me you were going to wave the fist at those people yelling at you. That was what you were going to do. The people yelling at you the other day.
I was on, like, a lot of times when I do my little old man walk, I'll be on my call with, our topics call.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I had somebody, like, turn the corner and come within, like, 18 inches of me
And start screaming.
as I was going through a crosswalk. And I turned around, and I was like, and it was this older lady. I'm like, are you serious? I stopped. 14 inches from my leg.
Out of the way. Lucky I saw you.
Move. That I wanted to go, here you go. Have you seen this? This is what I think of you.
By the way, I'm just seeing, this is kind of funny. I just popped this in there. There's a site that's putting out like intentionally fake scheduled release stuff.
There's so many jokes.
This is a really
so
good
many
one.
jokes when you just were partway through that
Yes,
where I was going to go.
I'm sure there were. NFL schedule leak. Jets at Chiefs in Vatican City.
In Vatican City.
Week 6.
St. Peter's Square.
3:25 a.m.
Yeah, right.
on MGM Plus and Redbox.
Good play, Vatican Square.
By the way, I
That's
forgot to
funny.
point out, we do know the Chiefs will not be going to Madrid. The Bengals and
Yes.
will play in Madrid.
Exactly, yeah.
So they are not going to Madrid. FYI.
Who lead the Royals in homers this season? Carter Jensen, Sal Perez, Bob, Vin.
Bob.
Number?
Mine?
Mm-hmm.
I'll say 65.
That's 4 choices?
Mm-hmm.
64.
44.1.
Whoa.
37 said Vin.
Whoa.
Does Carlos Estevez pitch again for the Royals? Yes or no?
I'll say yes.
I'll say yes as well.
Answer's no. Number?
59.5.
59.0.
54.9.
So did you go under?
Yeah.
Yeah, damn it.
Does LeBron James play again? Yes or no?
Yes. He's going to try to squeeze one more year out of that.
Yeah, he didn't say no, so I think they'll say yes.
Number?
Mine? I'll say 70. 70%.
I'll go 69.
76.3.
I think he'll end up playing for Cleveland.
Should LeBron James play again?
No.
No.
Number?
No. Hell no.
80%.
Oh, wow. I'll say 79.
61.1.
I knew that was too high.
Who would you rather see win the Stanley Cup? A Canadian team or a warm weather U.S. team?
Oh, boy. They're all about
Our-
America.
Our little
Yeah.
rant.
I'll say warm weather U.S. team, just for fun.
I'll say warm weather U.S. team.
Actually, Canadian team.
Okay, Frank.
Our listeners are cool.
Yeah. I will say 65.
64.
62.5.
There you go.
Favorite of these 4 Frank Caliendo impressions? Madden, Gruden, Barkley, Stephen A.
I love this Barkley.
I think Barkley.
I
yeah.
love Barkley.
It's actually Gruden.
Yeah, I
Ooh,
sort
wow.
of
Number?
figured it might be, yeah.
It's pretty good, man.
37%. I think it's probably divvied up.
I'll go 38.
43.1. 37 said Madden, 20% said Charles. Nobody.
Charles is so good.
Nobody said Stephen A. Smith, which makes me smile
Yes.
very broadly. Favorite of these 4 Frank Caliendo impressions? Robin Williams, Morgan Freeman, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro.
Ooh.
I'll say it's gonna be it's either De Niro or Pacino. I'll say De Niro.
I'll go De Niro as well.
Actually, he finished last.
Okay.
Really?
Well, hang on. Let us pick again then.
Okay.
All
Amongst the other 3. That's a good.
right, I'll
like
go
that
Morgan
idea.
Freeman then.
I'll go Robin Williams.
48.8% said Morgan Freeman.
Thank you.
26%
I almost went
said
Morgan Freeman the
Pacino.
first time.
19% said Robin Williams.
I I figured if they didn't like one Italian American, they ain't
gonna like the
yeah.
other one.
Yeah.
And Robin Williams he gone.
He gone.
Out of sight, out of mind.
How many Chiefs games will be reported when we take the air at 2 p.m. on Thursday? 5 or fewer, 6 or more?
Ooh, geez.
Oh,
now
God,
that we've got,
that's a good one. We got one, right? And we just know.
I'll take 6 or more.
I'll take 5 or fewer.
62-38, 5 or fewer.
This game sucks.
How many standalone games will the Chiefs play? 3 or fewer, 4 or more?
4 or more.
4 or more.
Number?
Frank?
Oh, shoot. 85%.
Oh, 84. That's a little too high.
72.7.
Settle down, Frank. You think you got a big enough lead you can just, throw me charity points here?
Yeah.
Is that what's
I
going
do,
on
sort
here?
of. Yeah, sort of.
Here's a scrap. Come here, boy. You want the crust?
Bang.
Want the crust? Come on.
Shake.
Come on, who's a good boy?
Who's that
Roll
good boy?
over. Let me scratch
Who's
you
a
behind you.
good boy?
Let me scratch you behind you. Get over here.
Better weather, 65 and calm, 75 and windy.
65 and calm.
65 and calm. You people whine about the weather.
Number?
Why
70.
71.
92.1.
Jesus.
He has nothing to do with
not
this
done.
I don't know, but you better have like 3 more.
I've only got. Did I ask when it kind of expired? Will the Chiefs play in a foreign country this season? I didn't ask that one.
No.
I went by the wayside. But what was the answer?
No.
Yes or no?
We both said no.
Okay. Actually, people answered yes. Number?
Okay. Frank?
I'll say 60.
59.
56.9.
There you go.
Got one at the end.
2 more.
He said, we
Make 'em up.
How many primetime
Make
games
me
will the
win.
Chiefs play? 3 or more? Or
Is
3
that
or fewer,
on there
4
or
or
no?
more?
No,
Yes.
we already did that one.
Three,
didn't
no,
we?
that was standalone games.
Oh,
Primetime
I'm
games.
sorry.
3 or fewer, 4 or more.
4 or more.
4 more.
Number?
79.
80.
72.4. That's the last
One
one. I had.
more.
That's the last one I had.
Damn.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah, Frank wins again.
Well, you're okay, though. You closed the gap pretty good. on that
I'm not okay losing, Frank.
We don't tolerate any losers in this family.
one. All right, Kyle, let's go, buddy.
The overall, Frank is in the lead, 8-7-3. In the aggregate, Frank 116, Soren 103.
Oh, my God. This is terrible.
It's just May.
We'll take a break.
It's May.
Find out how stupid I am on current events. Like I haven't
Relax.
proven that already here today. It's next here in the program. All right, Frank, what in the world? What do you got for me?
All right, where did the hantavirus contagion start?
Some cruise ship.
No, Patagonia, for a couple passengers who were Dutch. They were birding in a trash dump in Patagonia area.
Yeah. Well, that's
And where did the World Health Organization send the hantavirus patients after they got off the boat?
Straight to hell.
They sent them to Omaha, Nebraska, which has a specialized facility for that.
I'm glad my daughter goes up there.
Why did Eric Clapton have to cut his concert short over the weekend?
Forgot the words.
Well, close. He's 81.
I don't know.
A fan threw an old vinyl record of his at him and hit him in the chest at a conference. He actually wanted him to sign it, but he hit him and he just walked off stage. Said, "See ya. I'm out of here."
That's it.
Overland Park police are looking for a car used as a what?
Battering ram.
Very good.
Yeah, oh,
Wow, that was a stolen car, but they were looking for the getaway vehicle.
I
But
didn't
that's
All right, Donovan Mitchell tied an NBA playoff record with his 39-point half last night. Whose record did he tie? Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
Coming up in our next segment, we will talk some NBA draft lottery. Where's Darren Peterson going to go? We'll talk some playoffs. Alex Schiffer, our NBA draft insider, will join us here in the program. How about this story? Lane Kiffin said that claims lack of diversity made recruiting to Ole Miss more difficult. Which he had good talent coming to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
It wasn't the money, mind you, that he got, the $13 million per to go to LSU.
No.
He said, according to Kiffin, the conversations are very different from the ones he had with some high-profile recruits at Ole Miss. Quote, "Hey, Coach, we really like you, but my grandparents aren't letting me move to Oxford, Mississippi. That doesn't come up when you say Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Parents were sitting here this weekend saying the campus's diversity feels so great. It feels like there's no segregation. And we want that for our kid because that's the real world."
Okay. It tracks.
This is a Vanity Fair interview. After the interview, Kiffin followed up with Vanity Fair to state that he wasn't trying to take shots at Oxford. He was simply relaying conversations he had while coaching there. Quote, "I just hope my comment comes across respectful to Ole Miss.
Well, I'm sure they took it as a compliment.
There are some things that I'm saying that are factual. They're not shots." By the way, there are some things that I'm saying that are factual?
He didn't help his cause there.
The Ole Miss football program has been wrestling with its Old South ties for a while now. In 1996, Tommy Tuberville fought a similar battle regarding the use of the Confederate flag in Vaught-Hemingway Stadium. According to author Jay Busby in his book, Iron in the Blood, Tuberville told University Chancellor Robert Kayat in 1996, quote, "We can't recruit against that flag." Tuberville even told notable Ole Miss alum Harold Brunson that the flags were, quote, "killing the rebels." "But the flags on campus were not getting our share of black players that are going to other schools," Tuberville said. I mean, you and I were talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I have not spent... By the way, here's another one from the CBS Sports article. "Even well outside the borders of Mississippi, SEC coaches have pushed to eliminate ties between their program and the Confederacy. In 2007, then South Carolina coach Steve Spurrier called for, quote, "that damn Confederate flag to be removed from the State House."
Yeah, which it was.
The flag was eventually removed in 2015. You and I were talking about this, and we're like, listen, neither one of us have lived as a black man in the South or anywhere else, for that matter. So we don't know what the difference might be. But it felt like to us, again, and we may be completely ignorant as to what we're talking about here. We are not claiming to be experts on the subject. But we felt like the one big thing was the fact that the Confederate flag remains a part of the Ole Miss.
They're called the Rebels.
Yeah.
It's not because they're, teenagers who are looking to, get away with stuff, hijinks, without their parents finding out. That's where the name came from. So that's hard to it'd be hard to recruit against anyway.
So I think there is something there, but I don't think there's any chance Lane Kiffin wasn't just trying to pour salt in the wound and magnify and make a point of this in case you're a kid that hadn't connected those dots or weren't worried about it. Let me let you know you should be.
Yes.
This just seems like the classic Lane Kiffin, get under skin, do whatever it takes. I remember talking to somebody at KU. This would have been when... who was before Les Miles? David Beatty. Mm-hmm. When David Beatty was the coach, and I said, who would you go for?" He goes, and this is when Lane Kiffin was at Florida Atlantic. He said, "I'd go for Lane Kiffin. We'd be in the news. Like, you would hear Kansas football."
Yeah.
Now, and I always thought, that's interesting. And then, especially as you see him have success at Ole Miss, you're like, that would have worked. He'd have done fine. I don't know how well he would have done. Would they have been in the playoffs at Kansas? I don't know. Tend to think not. Tend to think being down in the heart of SEC country and in Mississippi, one of the more, talent-rich states and bordering on Alabama and Louisiana and I got to remember. Alabama.
Mississippi
I got it right.
between
I got it
Alabama.
right.
Yeah,
I got it right.
You got it.
Settle down, and not far from Florida.
Yep.
That Ole Miss is an easier place to win, even being in the SEC, than it is at Kansas in football, at least right now. But I definitely think you'd have heard Kansas football. I mean, he stirs it up on social media. Is that good?
Can be. I mean, it's.
Was it part of his success at SEC, or was it a distraction and he could have been even better based upon the talent that he had?
It's an excellent question. Because it only matters if you're winning. It's like, well, I have a hard time believing that, fully endorsing the idea that just making a spectacle or being a notable person. I think I want to go play for that guy who's always in the news. I think you'd want to go play for a team that you think you're going to have a chance to win. So connecting those two dots is possible, but I don't know necessarily that just being a notable place will be enough to get someone to go there in that era when you did have to sell the team on the university and the program, not we got some cash here for you, kid.
I mean, I do think it speaks to the overall culture that, hey, we've got some, most of the athletic team names, logos, have deferred to any group that said, hey, we're offended by that. And there's a group that's clearly offended by something at Ole Miss, and they're like, we don't care. Yeah, but it's also a group that is the main source of talent to help you win. Still don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's probably a little something. I think
someone who sounds like Foghorn Leghorn. Oh, I'll say, I don't care.
Yeah, I think.
I also don't know. I've tried to click on this Vanity Fair, the link on the story, and it's behind a paywall. But sometimes when I hear an answer,
you don't have a subscription to Vanity Fair.
I don't actually.
I find that hard to believe.
Not that Christopher Hitchens is gone. I don't anymore. I don't know whether he was. Whenever I hear an answer that's compelling, I think, well, was that a response to a direct question, or did he bring it up on his own? I don't know that. But even if he was asked, hey, is there a difference? Was it tougher? Did the guy say, hey, was it tougher in Ole Miss because of that?
I'm sure there was a why'd you take the LSU job.
But he got rolling with it. So, I mean, how he chose to, if it was a direct question, how he chose to answer it is still of note. And it still, I think, was answered with the intent of saying, hey, come on down here where that stuff didn't happen. Whoa, that last place, I was losing guys because they didn't want to go to that environment. You sure you want to go to that environment?
Well, he's not afraid to make himself the center of the storm, is he?
Not at all.
I mean, he was already. I mean, he's gone back to Tennessee.
Yeah,
where he's hated. I mean, I don't know that he's hated at USC because they fired him, but he was hated at Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
He's rolled back into that and been willing to wear the black hat and run out where he's holding his play card over his head while they're throwing things at him as he runs up the tunnel and everything.
I don't think.
I don't know that he's ready for what. I think Mississippi's going to go to another level.
Yeah.
From whatever he got first time he went back to Tennessee.
I don't know that not only does he not mind, I think he revels in it. I think he kind of likes. Some guys are willing to do it. I think he actually likes that thing.
Does it help his team? Do they rally around the coach? I mean, if he's a popular guy. If he's not a popular guy, then I don't think it helps.
Yeah.
But hey, that's our coach. If like he's endeared himself to players, which I think on most accounts he does, that the players do like playing for him, then I would think that may all be like, well, this will just be another thing to us against the world. You're in it with me, guys. I'm your guy. You're my guys.
Yep.
Maybe it does play a role.
Yeah, I don't think he can, because they're going to be good. I mean, he's already seen that the portal was great. He's killing it in recruiting. He's got #1 class coming in from at least one measure that I saw. So he's going to get players, and he can coach. They're going to be really good, and if that's the case, and they're going to make money. They're going to be able to keep cycling talent through there and winning.
Like I said, I had a former, not the guy who would make the call, but a former member, somebody who was at least up in the administration of Kansas, say that. Like, well, I said, well, who would your next guy be? Well, I think David Beatty or Lane Kiffin. We'd be in the news a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they'd at least be hearing about Kansas football. I mean, Missouri didn't take a run at him. We've talked a lot about the Bob Huggins. You know, K-State's happy to have Colin Klein. Hopefully that's going to be a lifelong marriage made in heaven, you know, bringing back the local kid. I hope for success for all the guys that are in place right now. But he can clearly coach football. And Missouri, never heard his name bandied about at Mizzou.
Nope.
You know, like when would he have been? When did he leave Florida Atlantic? And when did Barry Odom take over? Because I'm curious. Like, I don't think your Missouri or K-State or KU are hiring him away from Ole Miss. But when he was at Florida Atlantic, that's when your programs were in play.
He was there 17 to 19, and I think Pinkel was gone by then. I think his last year was 15 or 16.
So, but he was at Florida Atlantic 17 to 19?
17 to 19. Pinkel's last year at Mizzou was 2015. So at which point...
So, yeah, they'd have lined up. They'd have had a chance. Wherever he was...
Kiffin was still in Alabama as the OC in 15.
Okay.
He had one more... After 15, he had one more year at Alabama.
You cut Florida Atlantic
went
out.
To FAU, yeah. Yeah, they could have grabbed him over FAU.
And then and Odom was in Mizzou for 2 years, right?
I think it was a little bit more than that.
Was it more than that?
Yeah.
But so when he was at Florida Atlantic, you had a chance to make that move. KU was doing whatever KU's been doing, all their Les Miles and all that. So they had a shot at him.
Odom was there from 16 to 19.
K-State's the only one. They went from Bill Snyder to a guy that won a conference championship to now a favorite son. They're the only one that, like, okay, I'm okay with the moves they made.
And Les Miles, for some, seemed like that. Well, we'll be talked about, and they were talked about. And they thought that might be
that's a fair point.
A similar hire to that until he opened up the notebook, and lost his place. Everyone went, "Oh no, that's not
Has
good."
anyone heard how's he doing?
I haven't.
That is like one of the more bizarre moments in local sports. Is the Les Miles tenure at Kansas? What did it last? 2 years?
Yeah, 19 and 20.
Man, that like, if you're a Kansas, like Kyle, you're the Kansas fan. Does that like just feel like Bizarro World?
It did a little bit, especially his opening press conference.
The whole time, every time he opened his mouth.
Yeah. It was certainly odd.
I'm sure people were like, did anybody talk to him before we hired him to see if he's still...
And I believe that was the year he showed up at late night. It was kind of announced as the coach, and Snoop Dogg came out.
Oh, is that all there too? What a night.
Balls on the court.
Yeah.
What a night. Les Miles staring off into space and strippers on the court.
Snoop D-O-double-G, cuz.
What a moment in history for Kansas athletics.
The shot, there's the great shot of it was Jeff Long and Snoop, like back-to-back. Snoop's in the Kansas uniform. They're doing back-to-back, like their promotional thing of late night. I was like, man, that picture's going to be around for a while. Maybe you shouldn't have done that. But, I mean, it was just 6 years ago, so we do kind of still remember that. But there's going to be a time down the road when that is kind of forgotten. People are going to go back through the KU,
media guy
football and go,
Les Miles?
He was there for 2 years and one was 3 and 18. What the hell was that all about?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
And then they're going to find the video and go, oh,
I see now.
That's not
good. No, that wasn't good. All right, let's take a break. We'll welcome Alex Schiffer, our NBA insider, next. We'll find out where Darren Peterson's going to go in this draft. We do it next here in the program.
Welcome back here in the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Soren, Petro with you as we talk some NBA basketball. We'll talk some NBA draft lottery. Alex Schiffer, our NBA insider from Front Office Sports, joins us here in the program. He's brought to you by our friends at La Feta Italian Delicatessen, voted Kansas City's number 2 new restaurant by the Kansas City Star, right there on the southeast corner of 143rd and Metcalf. Check out their rockin' lineup of gourmet sandwiches or build your own. I know Alex Schiffer would enjoy a wonderful La Feta sandwich. Online at LaFetaDeli.com. Every sandwich comes with bread made fresh that morning, combined with the freshest meats, cheeses, ingredients, and sauces made to order. Don't miss their incredible charcuterie trays. There's one for every budget. Remember, they cater as well. Graduation parties, birthday parties, you name it. Make sure you give them 24 to 48 hours because everything is made fresh, so they want to make sure they've got plenty of fresh ingredients for your order. Go online right now to LaFetaDeli.com, or better yet, go to La Feta right now at 143rd Metcalf, right there on the southeast corner. Let's welcome Alex Schiffer to the program. Alex, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Always a pleasure, sir.
Yeah. Let's see. Have we? Do we need to even play the rest, or do we just go ahead and give the trophy back to the Thunder? Or is there? I'm sure there's a strong feeling in New York that the Knicks are coming together at the right time. Should they have that optimism? Should anybody else have any kind of thought that they can derail the Thunder?
Yeah, I am not. They would be the full transparency. The Thunder would be my pick today. But to your point on the Knicks, I would have originally said when the playoffs started, maybe Thunder in 5 or 6 over the Knicks. And I think the Knicks are really pushing it toward a push with the way they're playing right now. To your point, they're peaking at the right time. Their offense looks awesome. Carl Towns, who obviously I go way back with from high school. I refuse to call him Carl Anthony. That's become a thing since he got famous. I've seen Carl play the majority of games in his career. This is the best stretch I've ever seen him, and it's not really close. Counting high school, when the other team's best player would sometimes be half his height. So I think the Knicks are really making you wonder right now how much of a run they can give OKC. And I will also just point out that the Spurs gave OKC a good showing in the regular season. That series is tied. We'll probably get to the Spurs in a little bit, so I might hold some thoughts there. But they also give you room to wonder as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, the Lakers are. What would it be, how different would it have been if Doncic had been healthy?
I think it would have been different. I think you saw that stretch where they had LeBron, Reeves, and Luka healthy, and LeBron fitting in perfectly with them as a 41-year-old sidekick. And you only got to see so much of that because those two guys got hurt. Austin Reeves was never really the same. And I think, do I think they beat the Thunder at full health? No. Do I think they get swept? Also no.
Yeah. And that is, that's part of it. It's funny that's the two young guys that are hurt and not the 41-year-old guy as you get here, because that's one of the things usually those old teams, they get into the playoffs and they're dragging ass because somebody's hurt or at least dinged up and everything, and here LeBron's the guy to go, and the younger guys are the one that's hurt. You mentioned the Spurs. They lose with Victor Wembanyama getting thrown out. They get a kiss, I think a lot of people would say. I don't know. I think, I've heard the point that, well, if this was Draymond Green, he'd have missed another game. It's not Draymond Green. He doesn't bring the baggage of Draymond Green. It's not his 10th offense. So I understand why there'd be some grace for Victor Wembanyama. But, they could have suspended him. I don't think it would have been completely unreasonable if they had suspended him for a game in addition to throwing him out of the game. First of all, let's start there. Do the Spurs even get it done? And get into the next round, because that is the team in the West that people have thought could maybe unseat the Thunder.
The Spurs are interesting to me because, we have no history, Soren, in the modern NBA of a team with no playoff experience going all the way to the finals. The closest thing we have is the Shaq and Penny Magic, who got swept by Jordan in the mid-'90s in the first round. Jordan goes to play baseball. The Magic make the finals the next year and lose to the Rockets. So I've been saying for a while that the Spurs, the lack of playoff experience was going to catch up with them, and I think it has to an extent in this playoff series with the Wolves. Obviously, Rudy Gobert, the fellow Frenchman center, has known Wemby a long time, is like a mentor to him. It's like some Master versus Apprentice Star Wars stuff going on here. But the suspension, a quick thought there is just that, to your point, he's been a Boy Scout up until this. I think that, your track record should mean something, especially in the playoffs. I also think the NBA probably wouldn't want their future hopeful ratings darling to miss a game. if they can avoid it. And the NBA hasn't really handed out a lot of suspensions during this postseason, which has surprised me. You know, the Mitchell Robinson Hawks thing was just a fine. You know, there's been a few of those things. And so
LaMelo Ball, what was it? LaMelo Ball grabbing the Heat center. He didn't get suspended either.
Yeah. So I just think that they've been light on suspensions to begin with. The track record should count for something. And back to the team overall, just I keep wondering when the inexperience is going to catch up with them. And will that be the conference finals against San Antonio if they win against OKC if they win the series, or will Minnesota knock them out as a fellow 2 consecutive conference finals team and show that there's some work to be done? The mini conference.
Yeah, it kind of caught up with them with game 1, didn't it? I mean, that was it. Now it's a question, does that sink them? Were they headed for a 7-game series, and does that sink them? I mean, what piece are they missing from a basketball standpoint when you look at the Spurs? Is there anything you say, well, they need more of this, well, they don't have this, or is it a complete team and experience is literally the only thing they're missing?
I think it's the latter. I think they have a lot of ways to hurt you. You know, outside of Wemby, Stephon Castle's been a great pick. You know, Dylan Harper was the number 2 overall pick, and he had an okay rookie season, but he's shown that he's going to be a guy to worry about down the stretch. Carter Bryant, fun fact, nephew of Missouri, former Missouri player Trevon Bryant. He's kind of shown as being a young defensive stopper. I think that they and that doesn't even mention Harrison Barnes and Keldon Johnson. I think they have everything you need except experience, and obviously you can't go through that without having it. Or there's a metaphor there that I just completely whiffed on. But yeah, I think they have everything you need but experience.
We're talking to a man who usually is the king of metaphor, but today he's 0-1 on the account. Our NBA insider, Alex Schiffer, is with us here in the program. All right, is there, do either one of the other teams in the East, have any shot of knocking out the Knicks, if whichever one ends up getting through?
Yeah, I think the Knicks again are the betting favorite. I also think that the Knicks, many thought that they were going to roll the Pacers last season, and we all know what happened there. I mean, Donovan Mitchell and James Harden as a tandem, and Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, they have some of the size that can give the Knicks front court, with Cat and Mitchell Robinson, some issues. They have to get there, though, too, and it's been a weird series, and obviously no road team has won yet. The Pistons, I thought they were going to lose to the Magic. I think they should have, and that was a New York Mets-esque choke job by the Magic. There's my metaphor game back. I think the Knicks should win that series, but I do think that maybe they could get a push from either team, just given the regular seasons those teams had. Again, James Harden's postseason resume continues to look iffy, and that's where, again, that wouldn't stun me if the Knicks were to roll the Cavs in like 5 or 6 games, just because of the way the Knicks are playing and the inconsistency. But the Knicks should win the conference, I would say.
Were you shocked when the Cavs made that move for Harden? Like, they seem like they've been a team that's been on the cusp of being the best team in the East now for a couple of years, and to go bring in a guy that seemingly is just, kryptonite for playoff success. Did that shock you when it happened?
I was more shocked that the Clippers traded James Harden than the Cavs acquired him in the moment, because the Clippers were rolling. Obviously, there was the aspiration Kawhi investigation hammer that may or may not drop over them. They look like a team that could really make some noise in the playoffs. If you believe in the conspiracy that the Clippers knew the hammer was coming and they weren't going to bother paying James Harden this summer, his contract was only partially guaranteed, and it made sense to trade him, then they will be proven right if that ends up happening. I do think that, the Cavs are the only second apron team in the NBA this season. There is some urgency of, is Donovan Mitchell going to extend with them or not? Can this team, as currently constructed, win? Darius Garland was obviously unreliable when it came to his injury history. So I think that the Cavs had to make a move. I did not expect James Harden to be that move. If the aspiration hammer does end up coming down, then I will think that makes a lot more sense, hindsight 2020.
Yeah. It's I feel for the Cavs. I mean, they've had plenty of success. It's not like it was back when LeBron got there and they hadn't done anything for, 40 years. But, this team does feel like it's been close, and it just can't quite find that last missing ingredient there. What do you make of the Pistons? I mean, is the time now for everybody else in the East to get it done because the Pistons are going to be trouble moving forward, or are they just the best of a year where Boston didn't have Tatum most of the year, and the Heat are in kind of reset mode? Like, do you believe in the Pistons long term, or do they have to get it done right here?
I believe in the Pistons long term from a roster standpoint. I'm high on Cade Cunningham. I think that he's a star. Jalen Duren, who I've been a fan of since watching him play AAU back when I covered Missouri. This is a player I always thought he'd be as like a double-double machine, threat down low. I like their vets, with Duncan Robinson, Tobias Harris. I think they have a good group overall. JB Bickerstaff, obviously speaking of and I'm forgetting Sir Thompson, obviously, but I think they have a good young core with some good older guys mixed in there. I think the question I have is, J.B. Bickerstaff to me has some Dwayne Casey in him where, regular season's not really the issue. It's going deep in the playoffs is, and I think that's why this is a good test for him of can you make the conference finals after having, making the playoffs 2 years in a row with the Cavs, and people thought maybe that last team he had should have been the conference finals. So I'm curious just what this does for him and what this series looks like for his reputation. Does he go into next season, again, on a hot seat a little bit of you got to find a way to make the conference finals or beyond, or is this team young enough to where they'll give him a long runway on that? So I think I'm not worried about the Pistons as they're constructed. I'm worried a little bit about it as they're coached.
Okay. All right. That's interesting because that has been the problem for him. Moving on, that was the problem in Cleveland before he got to the Pistons. We're talking to Alex Schiffer here in the program. Let's talk a little bit about the draft. The lottery has now taken place, and maybe the biggest story is that the Pacers lose pick number 5, and Kevin Pritchard takes to social media to apologize to his fan base. First of all, the window, do I have this right? The window was the only way that pick transferred was if it was 5 to 9. Every other spot that it could land, they kept it. Is that correct?
It was, if 5 to 9 was the only range that or it might have been 5. Yeah, 5 to 9 if it went to the Clippers, and then if it was like 10 to 12 or whatever the floor was for it, stayed with the Pacers. Yeah, and obviously it was more likely to convey to the Clippers than to fall out of the top 10, basically. Yeah.
He in his post, he being Kevin Pritchard, said, we thought we'd get lucky. We thought we'd get a better pick, which is, really, you're a general manager in the age of analytics, and you're talking about luck being one of the reasons why you did something. But I thought it was an extraordinary price for Zubik at the time, and a lot of people said, they need a center. They're really doing this for next year when they get all their pieces back. Come on. You knew you were in the lottery. Should this be, grounds for termination?
I don't think it should be grounds for termination. I think the Pacers have honestly got a raw deal this season in that, they got that huge fine from the NBA over the Pascal Siakam whether or not to play him. The whole reason why the Pacers were bad is because they lost their best player to a torn Achilles in Game 7 of the Finals. They went all in to try to win the whole thing a year ago. They've never tanked, and they got the worst luck imaginable in that their star player tears his Achilles. So I think they've gotten I think that they have been unfairly looped into this. People talk about, the tanking crimes, the Wizards, the Jazz, the Nets were all committing, and I think the Pacers got roped in there very unfairly. This is their first down year in years, in more than a decade. Again, they never tanked. So I think that, plenty of other GMs have hedged their bets. Look at the Nets. They fell in the draft for the second straight year. Down to 7 or 8 last year, and then down to 6 this year when they had a high odd of top 3. So I think that they are kind of unfairly getting this heat for losing the pick. But I will say, just in a loaded draft, it's a tough year to do the deal. And to your point, I think for this year, it's a tough year for an overpay the way it happened. But GMs have been, there's a ton of GMs obviously who were hedging their bets on luck to move up in the lottery and get a high pick all year. So I don't think he should be guilty of that. I think that you just picked the wrong year to do it. And to your point, you never see an apology like that. Most basketball executives are not on social media publicly to begin with. They might have a burner, But to see that is like a 1 in a million type of tweet.
Yeah, no doubt. Do we see the Bucks have said that they want the Giannis situation cleared up before the draft, right? Presumably because they would like to, they either want him to commit long term to the Bucks or they want to get something done. I think Giannis has made it pretty clear. It seems like, from what I hear, that moving on is probably the direction he's headed right now. I think the Bucks are about 2 years late in doing this, and all they've done is diminish the price. Number one, do you agree that Giannis is ultimately going to be traded? And two, do you think it happens before the draft, that it's part of the draft day scene this year that he ends up going, whether it's the Bulls say we need a star and he goes as part of a bunch of firsts and the fourth pick? Do the Jazz say it's time for us to grow up? Do the Wizards say we've got a lot of young talent, we need this last piece? Like, could you see Giannis factoring into the early parts of this draft?
Yeah, I'm very curious to see where this goes. Obviously ESPN reported yesterday the Bucks are now taking offers for him. I wonder where he goes on two fronts, to your point. Yes, they should have traded him probably, right after Damian Lillard tore his Achilles in the playoffs. That I would have traded him last summer if you could have, or to your point, the year before acquiring Damian Lillard and giving all that money, given he's going to be on their books. That's the closest thing to the Bobby Bonilla deal probably you'll see in the NBA of that wave and stretch. I wonder where he goes, because if I had to make a bet right now, I think the team that would acquire him is still playing or maybe just got knocked out. Do the Lakers try to pair him with Luka? Do the Cavs make a desperation move and try to pair him with Mitchell if they think Mitchell can sign an extension there? I think the biggest thing to your point, though, is, he's 31. He played 36 games this year, and he is owed $58 million next year, and then that $275 million extension that he would obviously want over 4 years. We're talking about, almost $70 million a season, and for a guy in the final years of his prime and maybe a few out of them. That's tough. So you have to trade everything but the kitchen sink to get him, and then give him a boatload of money and way down your cap sheet to build a contender around him. And that's where I think this is going to be very interesting is it a Kevin Durant type trade where it's like 2 first and 2 rotation players, something like that? Well, he's making $58 million next year. I think it's going to be a very interesting process, because who gets desperate to swing a move for him? And to your point too of who would go for him, the Knicks are playing right now like they don't need him, but they have an erratic owner who might decide if they get destroyed by the Thunder in the finals, we need him, let's trade everybody. So how long does this go? Because the team that might want him the most or might be desperate enough might still be playing, so this would drag. But what do you give up for him when you're trying to keep the team competitive for him, give him all this money, and then find a way to make the roster work around him? It's a very tough balancing act that I don't envy the guys trying to trade for him will have to do.
Yeah, no, I would agree, and I'm with you. I mean, he's in the old days he would have become a free agent and he'd have signed on to be the third spoke, on a team. Like, that's how it used to work. Like, that's how was it? I'm trying to think. It was Bob McAdoo ends up being like the sixth man for the Lakers. In the Showtime Lakers. He was a great scorer, but on the downslope of his career, on the downslope of their careers, great players would go grab on, at the end to good teams. And now it's like become this thing where, like, no, I still have to be the centerpiece. I still want to lead the team in scoring. And then I want you to put enough talent around, and I want to make all this money, and I want you to put enough talent around me that I can win. Like, Kevin Durant should be the second or third option on a team, like if he really wants to win a championship. Like, if you funnel everything through Kevin Durant in his late 30s, it's a recipe for disaster. It's just not going to work, and it's not going to work with Giannis. You're going to be looking at the same thing. That was the beauty of what you said about the Lakers, was it looked like LeBron had acknowledged that finally in his 40s and was willing to play second fiddle and be a great second fiddle or third fiddle, and that was when they were kind of finding themselves and going to become, everything that they could be. And, I don't know that Giannis is ever going to be willing to do that. If he could go to a Knicks and he'd understand that he's got to play off Jalen Brunson and all those kind of things, it could be a nice marriage, right? He could maybe save some wear and tear on his legs. He doesn't have to do quite as much it also could end up being the poison for a franchise, the way I think Kevin Durant has been at every stop he's had since he left Golden State.
I think to your point, to use the Lakers metaphor, the deal the Lakers got for Luka, in my opinion, is the kind of deal you would need to get for like an aging star of sorts, where, again, obviously the Luka deal was a travesty and should have never been legally allowed and whatnot. But my point is basically that, I don't speak for Kevin Durant, but, he's talked about, if you're going to trade for someone like me, you're going to have to gut the whole team. I think that he kind of realized when he got to Phoenix, this is my observation, well, I'm here, Devin Booker's here, Bradley Beal is here, but we don't have Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, who were two of the best role players in the NBA before they got traded for me, and those are exactly the kind of guys that we need that we're missing and now we can't afford. So I think that some of these guys, it's clicked where, to your point, like Kevin and LeBron and that's why, again, where LeBron plays next year is going to be fascinating too, of like, am I willing to take a pay cut and, take a lesser role for the betterment of the team to win another title, or do I still want it to go through me more than maybe it should and command the salary I still want? And again, on paper, what LeBron and Kevin Durant did for their ages warrants them still getting paid close to what they're getting paid. But as we're saying, there's domino effects to that make it harder for the team to be competitive with the rest of the roster.
Yeah. All right, Darren Peterson, we now know the order. A lot of people putting him at number 2. Do you still think he goes that high? I don't. I think he ends up going 3 or 4 when it's all said and done.
If Utah Jazz didn't have the number 2 pick, I might agree with you. But, the Jazz took Ace Bailey in the draft last year, who had this manager who didn't want him working out for teams to try to force his way to a destination that they had in mind. And then he goes and has a pretty good rookie year, all things considered, in Utah. Played 72 games, averaged, about 14 points a game, shot 44% from the field. The 3-ball can use some work. But I wonder if the Jazz, given they have Jaren Jackson Jr., they have Ace Bailey, they have some of these other guys on the roster, like, are they maybe the best equipped roster to take another risk like this and take him, given they have they still have Lauri Markkanen. They have some other guys there who make kind of hedge the bet a little bit. So I don't see him falling past 4 to the Bulls if it were to happen, but I do think that the Jazz are a good team to take him, given what they did a year ago and how it worked out for them.
Okay. All right. We'll see if it works out that way. I love it. Now he's figured out creatine was the problem, The University of Kansas health system, the KU training staff couldn't figure it out. They got to figure it out now. Creatine. Too much creatine.
I went to high school with a guy who all he did was lift weights and go on creatine, and I would never fight him, Soren, but that's all water weight, right? Like, I was kind of surprised it was creatine of all things, because I mean, if there's bodybuilder listeners, and I heard them to the station, I'm sorry, but like, I always thought creatine was like not what you want to use to get jacked. Like, I was always advised against it. So I know, again, I'm not exactly like the Balco guys who did all the baseball steroid stuff, but I was surprised it was creatine, just because I thought that, like, that's what you don't use for this stuff if you want to gain like legit muscle.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly on the cover of Men's Fitness, but I stand by what I said.
Yeah, no, I think the idea was that it helps your muscles retain water, which brings more oxygen into the muscles, which allows you to work out harder, is the theory behind it, is my understanding. But most people don't see any way that this was the issue for him. It looks like damage control as he's making the rounds, trying to get drafted here. We're talking to Alex Schiffer. We make the rounds on our final 4 quickies for you, Alex. I'll start you with this. Does LeBron James return next year?
I think he does. I think the team I think it's going to be a while before we learn the answers. You wait to see what the rest of the NBA shakes out to look like, but I think he will play next year.
Okay. The deepest tourney run for Dennis Gates at Missouri is how far?
Wow. I'm skeptical of next year's team, even though I know I shouldn't be. Maybe that's a future segment, but I will say the Sweet 16.
Okay, Sweet 16. All right. Where is Giannis next year?
That's another tough one. I will say Houston. Total shot in the dark.
Okay. Shot in the dark, Houston. And then what's for dinner?
I've been waiting for this question since yesterday. Leftover hibachi. Let's get it.
Alex, you're the man. We appreciate it. We'll talk again soon, my friend.
Always appreciate you, Soren.
The program with Soren Petro.
All right, the Lafayette Delicatessen, end of the hour answer. Donovan Mitchell tied an NBA playoff record with his 39-point half last night. Whose record did he tie? It's almost 40 years old. May 10th, 1987.
I was guessing and guessing and guessing. I went through Bird, the obvious, Jordan, Wilt.
Mm-hmm.
Then he said, no, 87. And I said, okay, Bird, Dominique. He said Western Conference. I said Karl Malone, Kemp, Thunder Dan Marley, Tom Chambers.
It was a guard.
Jeff Malone. Gary Payton, I guess I'll throw in there. Magic.
So you would not have liked him in
Oh, that's right.
in college. And it couldn't have been Magic because it was against the Lakers.
So did he go to UConn? Georgetown?
Mm-hmm.
Eric Sleepy Floyd?
Eric Sleepy Floyd.
Nailed it!
Boom.
You're not getting that by me.
May 10th, 87. It was the only game of that series that the Warriors won. I think they won 129, 121. He scores 39 in the second half, and they win by 8. He scored 29 in the fourth, also the most ever for a single quarter in NBA playoff history.
He was not the Hoya that threw the ball away, correct? Or he was the Hoya?
No, that was Fred Brown.
That was Fred Brown, okay. Just to be clear.
Oh, he threw it to the wrong man. Remember who he threw it to?
James Worthy.
James Worthy.
Big game James.
I was like, what? What was that?
If that had happened today, they'd be like, he's clearly taking the game. Double the under.
What I remember about that, and it tip of the cap.
Yeah, the instant bet, no score this possession.
Tip of the cap to the to a guy who I think sometimes got a little more grief than he needed to, Billy Packer. What I remember about the 82 game is after the game, obviously Fred Brown was a sophomore. He was just crushed, and John Thompson's kind of hugging him, patting him on the back, saying, it's going to be okay, it's okay, it's okay. After they won it 2 years later, there's a shot of him hugging Freddie Brown. And he goes, look at John Thompson, he's so happy. And the man that he's hugging, Freddie Brown. Remember what 2 years difference makes. And then he goes, you know what's interesting about that picture? He was hugging him when he made the mistake, too. And I had completely forgot about that. And I was like, that's a really cool full circle moment.
Yep.
Makes the huge mistake, and 2 years later he gets redemption. Just, part of what makes sports fun.
I like beating I like beating Georgetown, but I didn't hate Georgetown. I hate UConn.
Yeah.
But John Thompson was great. When he was still alive and we'd see him at the Final Four and talk to him. Great interview. Great, wonderful guy to talk to.
Yeah.
We're just talking about the NBA draft, some of the winners and losers at the Combine as that's going on. Darius Acuff, winner.
Nice.
He measured in at a full barefoot 6'2" with a 6'7" wingspan. Loser. The loser is Kingston Fleming. Well, he measured barefoot 6'2.5". His wingspan only 6'3.5". So 3.5 inches more wingspan with Darius Acuff. By the way, Keaton Wagler, 6'5", 188 on the barefoot wingspan, 6'6.25". And then the Michigan boys. Here's the reason why they won. Ade Mara, barefoot. What do you think what did they list him at, 7'2"?
7'3", I think.
7'3"? What did he measure barefoot?
I'll guess 7'2".
I'll guess 7'1".
7'3".
Damn.
Wow.
260 pounds. 7'6" wingspan and a standing reach of 9'9". His fingertips are 3 inches away from touching the rim. Or maybe are what? With the rim are a half an inch away or an inch and a half away from touching the bottom of the rim.
Yeah, with his shoes, that's comical.
With his shoes, maybe he is touching it. I don't know. That's where he was. Morez Johnson came in at a barefoot 6'9" with a 7'3.5" wingspan, a standing reach of 8'11". And Lindenberg came in at 6'8 3/4", a wingspan of 7'3 1/4", standing reach 9 feet 1/2 inch.
Wow.
There was some size on that Michigan squad.
Yeah, hand up on defense was a little tough to shoot over.
So, some of the winners and losers of the measurements going on at the NBA Combine. Our thanks to Alex Schiffer in our last segment.
Flory measured in a little shorter than people had expected.
What did he come in? I haven't seen the whole list.
6. No, I can't remember what it was. It was like, what? I thought I had a post from it, and I guess I don't. Not to be continued. We'll talk about it. I need to know. I thought I posted
Flory
that.
Badunga. Seeing one thing just off the AI answer: 6'7 3/4", 7'3 1/4" wingspan.
6'7", a little shorter than you thought, or is that what you would have expected?
No, that's actually a little more than I expected.
Really?
Yeah, I thought he might be down there in the 6'6" and change.
I rescind my comment. All right, who was the opponent the last time the Chiefs opened the season on Monday night? Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
Fourth quarter of the program begins right now as we finish strong here on a Tuesday. Coming up here in a little bit, we will talk college football. Shahan Jayaraja, national college football writer for the CBS Sports, joins us. We begin here with the things you need to know. Proudly brought to you by our friends at Easton Roofing. Kansas City's best when it comes to putting a roof over your family's head, over your business's head, is Easton Roofing. Guttering, yep, they do that. They got all different kinds of gutter covers to choose from. How about siding? They do that as well. Commercial, residential, Easton Roofing. Find them online at eastonroofing.com. The only folks I will allow on my roof are Easton Roofing. A lot of hail damage. If you're not sure, get a free estimate. Get a free inspection right now from Easton Roofing. Go to eastonroofing.com. Let's begin with some Chiefs news. We have the opener for the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs and Broncos squaring off September 14th. Monday Night Football. It will be in Kansas City. The AFC West champion Denver Broncos coming to Kansas City, ending their 9-year streak atop the division. The Chiefs can get back at trying to start a new streak by knocking off last year's champ.
I like it. Not bad.
I'll take it. The 14th. Frank Bull was pointing this out. I didn't really think about it, but pretty late.
Yeah.
Pretty late start for that.
I heard someone say they almost wanted to be in Denver so they could go there and beat them in Denver and say, all right, got that taken care of.
Well, they'll get that chance.
Yeah, but it's like to start the season, imagine they go into Denver and win that game. Like, all right,
that would help.
We just won in your barn. Now we're even Steven the rest of the way, and we're game up on you.
Joe Buck and Troy Aikman will have the call of the game on ESPN. Troy Aikman said he really likes the matchup.
Everyone's wondering whether or not Patrick Mahomes obviously is going to be back for that one. A down year last year for that franchise. I expect them to come back and be the team that we've seen for much of the last decade. And then, of course, with Denver, you could argue that they were a quarterback injury away from making it to the Super Bowl. It's unfortunate for that organization, but what a great job Sean Payton has done. So to kick that off week one in a divisional game, I always liked that as a player when you opened up against a divisional opponent and kind of helped set the tone in what is a very competitive division.
Yeah.
Opportunity to go up 1-0. And that, I mean, I mentioned what would have been for the Chiefs sitting on to Denver. That's there for the Broncos. I mean, they come in and win their fourth straight against Kansas City, beating them twice in a row in Kansas City and opening the season with a win. They can stamp their foot on the AFC West for just to start the year. Okay, now you got everybody back. We're back, and we just beat you again.
The other news we have about the Chiefs is they have announced what the game in Spain will be. While the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plane, the Chiefs will not be on that plane.
No.
Bengals-Falcons
Yep.
is going to be the game in Spain. So we can eliminate the Chiefs playing in Madrid this year, something that ownership had wanted.
Yeah, they were not necessarily expecting it, but they were still, I guess, somewhat hopeful.
They lobbied for it. They fought for it.
For sure.
So we'll continue to get these little trickles about the schedule out. We'll bring you any new news that we get as we progress towards it. College football news, good news for Ahmad Hardy and the Missouri Tigers. Their star running back has been released from the hospital today. He was shot in the upper leg on early Sunday morning. He plans to head to Missouri's campus immediately to begin rehabbing with the goal of playing this year. They've said that they are hopeful that he will play again.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's coming to campus. It doesn't look like there's necessarily some kind of rehab that's going to be required with any kind of special group, or I don't know, maybe Missouri has that special group. I don't know what to make of that. I don't want to make too much of it, but I think it's a good sign if they're like, yeah, go on,
sure.
You can go on to Columbia.
Nobody tougher in college football than Ahmad Hardy. He showed that last year, and if anybody's going to be ready to go on week one, after that, it's going to be him.
Yeah. LeBron James has been uncommittal about what next year will hold. He was asked, what will the determining factors be on whether or not he's back next year?
I think for me, it's about the process. Like, if I can commit to still being in love with the process of showing up to the arena 5.5 hours before a game to start preparing for a game, giving everything I got, diving for loose balls and doing everything that you know that it takes to go out and play, and showing up to practices, 11 o'clock practice, I'm there at 8 o'clock, preparing my body, preparing my mind, preparing to practice, to put the work in, and So I think for me, I've always been in love with the process and not the aftermath of like, okay, well, we won that game, or we won a championship, or I've always enjoyed the process and more than the outcome. So I think that would be a big factor. And then also, have a conversation with my 12-year-old daughter. That's a big factor. And my 19-year-old son is entering his second year at Arizona. And my wife as well. So they're a huge factor in any decision I've made. So they'll be a big part of it as well.
Two things jumped out at that. One, I'm not going to ask Bronny, apparently. Everyone else in his family gets questioned. Bronny, I don't care what you say.
Well, he's not under his roof anymore.
I know. It's kind of funny. Wait, hey, Dad, I got some thoughts. Don't care. The other is, I'd like to figure out scientifically who loves the word process more, LeBron James or Scott Pioli.
Oh, Scott Pioli.
Pioli loved the process. It's all about the process. He said process a lot there. Likes the process. You buy 5.5 hours. I know they don't get there 90 minutes before, but 5.5, 8:30 start. You there at 3? Possible.
Yeah,
He might be. There are some certain guys, that you can look at and say, yeah, I agree. I mean, J.J. Redick, in fact, told the story before he became the Lakers coach that they were playing against the Lakers in L.A. and he got there. He's like, I'm gonna go out there early and get some shots up before anybody else gets there and make sure I'm the first guy out there. He walks out and Kobe's down there working out. He's like, okay, that's different.
Never having been performing at the highest level of anything athletically, I don't know what it takes to get things going. But I'll bet there's some stretching and all kinds of stuff that he goes. And
he's not scoring 28 points in playoff games at 41 because he's showing up an hour before the
probably eats at a specific time. They talk about all the work he's done on his body. He probably knows exactly when he should eat and do all that kind of stuff. So, he's pretty obsessive.
Yep.
Pretty obsessive. Rob Pelinka, the president of basketball operations for the Lakers, said they're not going to rush LeBron's decision.
I think in terms of LeBron, we probably haven't seen a player that has honored the game to the extent that he's honored the game. He's given so much to his teammates, to this organization, and the thing we want to do more than anything else is honor him back. And I think the first order of business there is allowing him to spend the time he needs to decide what his next step are. Does he want to play another year in the NBA? And that'll be, as he said to you guys last night, family time, I think time with his inner circle. And we just want to honor that for him. Of course, any team, including ours, would love to have LeBron James on their roster. That's a blessing in itself, just with what he does.
I'll reiterate something we talked about there with Alex Schiffer about, LeBron seemed to, during the course of the year, transition into not being the lead guy. And if he's okay with that, then I can see him coming back, having some load management nights off. Luka's the lead dog. Reeves. I mean, I could see him coming back.
The emergence of Reeves has certainly helped.
Yeah, I think he is like what Kevin Durant and others struggle. Like I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Giannis. Can he not be the man?
Yeah. Can he be Wilt Chamberlain at the end and let somebody else be the guy?
Or can he at least be Batman and Robin?
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't even have to be Robin yet, but yeah, can he be Wilt, where you rebound, play defense, and do those things, along with a great Laker team, where Jerry West and Elgin Baylor are the lead dogs?
Yeah.
We'll find out. One game on the NBA hardwoods tonight. Spurs 9.5-point favorites, 7 o'clock on NBC. They play the Minnesota Timberwolves. That series tied at 2. 9.5 are the Spurs.
A lot of big spreads.
Yeah, a lot of big spreads. Hockey playoffs tonight. Sabres at Canadiens. Montreal leads that one 2-1. The Canadiens are minus 144. Buffalo plus 120. And then that's at 6 o'clock on ESPN. 8:30 on ESPN. Ducks at Las Vegas Knights. VGK and the Ducks are tied at 2 apiece. Vegas minus 160. Anaheim plus 132.
Montreal lost the opener in Buffalo and then won Game 2 and Game 3, so a chance to go up 3-1 back to Buffalo is keep the roll going. But if they don't and they go back to Buffalo and it's 2-2, The Carolina Hurricane are going to have a long time between games.
I'm more into that great uniform matchup of VGK and Anaheim. Boy, you get those out there. It just looks like old school hockey.
No, it looks like crap. I hate that the color, the shade of gold that Vegas wears. It's a bad jersey color. It's okay as a trim, but it's a bad jersey color. I mean, the Sabres and Canadiens look fantastic.
Top officials from Major League Baseball and the MLB Players Association met Tuesday to officially open up collective bargaining talks. They're a little more than 6 months before the expiration of the labor deal. It's according to ESPN. They get it done? Who's optimistic? Who feels good? Come on.
Oh, why not?
I actually think they might get it done.
Yeah.
There's so much money. Do you really want to, not get your $28 million this year?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know the flip side is, they've made so much money, nobody could afford to sit it out more than them. But there's also the
reason they made
older players like your Mike Trout. You got it rolling again, and, you don't have that many more years to play. I mean, there's a lot of things that would tug at the players to try to get this done, but we'll see. We'll see. Royals and White Sox tonight, 640, KC minus 124 favorites. You can get the White Sox, which are CWS, CH.
Oh, yeah.
W, CHI, parentheses, AL, but are definitely not CHC.
Yep.
For whoever wrote CHC.
Twas not I.
Plus 106.
I think we know who it was.
I know. That's why I was looking at you. Thunderdome puts his hand up and goes, yeah, that was me.
Yeah. My bad.
Yeah, I know. That was the guy who dropped the ball in the end zone. And just, that's on me. You think?
Yeah, really?
Was it you?
It wasn't me.
I think it was you. Stephen Kolek for the Royals. Eric Fetty.
Eric Fetty.
You know they're gonna whop one. It'd be Fetty whop.
Okay.
I'm so cool.
Royals laying money with Stephen Kolek.
See if he can continue his streak.
And the White Sox are ahead of them in the standings.
He's yet to throw a major league game for the Royals, which he didn't have a complete quality start. 6 for 6. Does he do it again?
I hope so.
Actually, I mean, all the Royals need to do is what they've just been doing against Munetaka Murakami, is just holding him hitless. That's what they did in his 12 ABs the previous time the Royals and Sox faced off, and they do that again. They got a good chance.
Called by Jeff Passan, I think the term he used was the true outcome king.
Yeah.
Yes.
Strikeout, walk, homer. That's what we're doing here. We've got 3 choices. Pick one. Guess who's got Murakami in the Fantasy Baseball League?
You?
Yeah, normally no, it wouldn't be me, but yeah, this guy. I got 2 thumbs and Murakami on my team. Bite it. Actually got one right. $19. Thank you.
There you go.
By the way, he started out with like an 0.27 batting average. I'm like, yeah, this is my guy. This is the Japanese player I get.
This tracks.
And then like a miracle occurred. He started hitting home runs. He and Junior Caminero powering the offense. Bob Witt coming alive. Pretty good squad. You liking those names I'm dropping out there?
Squad there.
If Jack Caglione could get some things happening, looking better. If I could get Jackson Holliday's ass off the IL, that would be a tremendous achievement. And he would actually be like, kind of number 1 overall pick. Good.
Like, maybe somewhere close to his dad.
If I could get Colt Emerson called up by the Mariners, Kate Anderson called up by the Mariners, I got some weaponry here. I got a shot for the first time in years.
He's got a shot.
I've been paying double entrance fees for a long time.
It's a bad trend.
Man, it's not a good trend. It's not a good trend. Always a good trend, though, when we talk to Shahan Jayaraja, our college football insider from the CBS Sports. We will get his thoughts on the 24-game field. What does he think about KU, K-State, Missouri coming off the spring games, looking ahead to the start of the season. Shahan is next.
The program with Soren Petro.
This drama contains adult language. Discretion is advised.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
know if they do it for all players, but on Basketball Reference now, you can go, like, on the LeBron James page, his game logs for high school. You just realize, like, right off the bat, just unstoppable.
Yeah.
His sophomore year, 23, 34, 25, 29, 41.
Okay. Do that. Let me see if there's something over here.
If you find something that you kind of like but doesn't have a lot of legs, I can give you the. You can knock around some of the offshoots of the answer to this trivia question. Something I
What's the question?
Who was the opponent the last time the Chiefs opened the season on Monday night?
Who? Okay. Yeah, I like that.
And some of the there's just some
Let's
like
just do that. Still no response from Josh Edwards? He does kind of always take his time. $158. That's what we're looking for.
Correct all. Correctamundo.
Okay. Ready.
Coming down in 3, 2, 1. But first, the La Feta Delicatessen